It's not easy to be made. Cha cha cha. Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Taste it. Oh shit.
Pretty simple, right? No need for classes or static void main or opening namespaces or importing modules, just some simple code. The first line is a comment that starts with /. The second line is actual F#. Printfn is a function that prints some text to the console. It actually does more than that, but for now, that's sufficient. There's also an .fsproj file, which isn't necessary to look at just yet. It contains the manifest of your application, such as what type of project it is, for example, an executable or reusable library, and the explicit list of all the F# files to compile. This is unlike some platforms where all files in the folder are automatically used. Section 2.4.3, writing your first F#. Let's make a quick change to the application so that it prints your name and the current date and time.
Oompa loompa doopity doo. Blah 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 blah. So are you. Doopity doo. Welcome to Codium. Skip, brother. Check paid. You gotta fucking pay for rainbow brackets, dude? Are you fucking kidding me? Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Rainbow my ass. It's a reading rainbow. Here we go. Cha-cha-cha. Charmin.
The first line assigns the value Isaac to the symbol name. Note that I didn't use the word variable but symbol. There's a good reason for that, which will become clear later. The second line gets the current date and time in UTC format using the datetime type, which lives in the system namespace. What's a namespace? A namespace is a way to logically group types in a system. Many of the core types in .NET live in the system namespace, including primitive types such as string and int32, and common classes such as environment, among others. We'll come back to namespaces later. The third and final line has also changed in several ways from our original application. We've prepended the $ symbol at the start of the string, which allows us to inject any value directly within the string as long as it's surrounded by curly brackets. This is known as string interpolation. We've used this to inject name and time into the string. Launch the program again using .NET Run and observe that the output is changed as expected.
See this code.
Congratulations! You've now actually written your first F# code. You should now take the time to configure VS Code to your liking. As VS Code is always changing with new features and extensions, you should also take some time to see what else is out there that suits the way you like to work. Section 2.5, REPL and Scripts. You've now seen how to work with console applications, a concept that I expect is familiar to you regardless of which language you're coming from. However, there's another side to developing F#, which you may or may not be familiar with: scripting. You might already be familiar with some languages that have good support for scripting, including Python and Clojure. Others, such as Java and C#, have more limited or even non-existent scripting modes. Section 2.5.1, the F-sharp REPL. A core part of scripting is having a great REPL. REPL, which stands for Read, Evaluate, Print Loop, is a mechanism that allows you to enter arbitrary, ad hoc code into a standalone environment and get immediate feedback without compiling and building a dedicated application. Instead of being used when running an application, a REPL is used when developing it. You send code to the REPL, which evaluates the code and prints the result. This feedback loop, depicted in Figure 2.3, is a tremendously productive way to develop. Here are some example uses for a REPL. Writing new business logic that you want to add to your application. Coming up with a new data model for your domain. Testing existing production code with a predefined set of data. Exploring a new NuGet package that you've heard about in a lightweight exploratory mode. Performing rapid data analysis and exploration.
Wait, so why don't where's my output though?
The emphasis is on short, rapid exploration cycles, trying out ideas in a low-cost manner and getting cheap feedback before pushing that into the application code base. What's nice about F# is that because the language allows you to encode business rules succinctly and with a powerful type system, you can often have a great deal of confidence that your code will work without first running it. Instead, you'll find yourself working in the REPL more, trusting the compiler, and focusing on writing code that delivers business value. In F#, the tool for the REPL is known as F# Interactive, or FSI. Section 2.5.2, Trying out FSI. FSI is an application that is bundled with .NET. To run it, open a terminal and type .NET FSI. You'll see a response that looks something like the following.
Can it just not hang out? That's all I'm trying to get to here, so I can fucking move on. Okay, it does go away. Okay. So how do I live? No. FSI. .NET. On the host. Semicolon at end of line. Keep if like a song. I just need to see how to run. Yeah. I guess it's not part of that. Oh, there we go. Use 64-bit. Okay. Shadow copy assemblies. Copy reference to locking by the. Okay, sure. Target specific language version, no. Move editor, caret. I mean, that sounds good, but what are the fucking. How do I do it? Key bindings. Control slash. Send into file. Like a song. Like a song. Dun 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 dun. Enable analysis of the F Sharp interactive editor. Oh, cool. Yeah. Show return type hints and chains. Hide when is on the same line as argument. I'm going to turn that off. Enable out of scope items completion to top level. Skip implementation, files analysis when possible. That's fine, I guess. I fucking guess. I guess, brother. Did you find your mother? Brother. Inspection code style. Strong side. Whatever, it's too many settings. God damn. All right, let's go.
The prompt at the end is where you can start typing in F sharp. Let's test it out. 1.
Well, I already did this though. I'm not. Supposedly, Rider has better support. I just want to get on with it. It's free though, so that was cool. So I'll try it out. I do like their stuff. I was pretty disenchanted with PHP in general, so it kind of soured me on JetBrains, but it's not their fault. Um, where scripts and REPLs fit in. I think this is more or less where I was. Speed it up a little bit. Oh, we had a quick play. Yeah, this is literally where I was.
Section 2.6, Development Flows. Now that you've had a quick play with scripts, I want to compare them to other development flows that we commonly use today, so that you can gain an understanding of where they are best utilized. Scripts are a great way to use F sharp in an interactive and lightweight fashion, and much of what we do in this book will focus on them. For many F sharp developers, including myself, scripts form an integral part of the development lifecycle, particularly in the exploratory phase of development, when you're trying out different ways of representing data, experimenting with third-party packages, etc., and I would highly encourage you to use it. They can enhance or replace several other development flows. Application-oriented development. When you develop your application and prove to yourself it works by running it and navigating to that section of the app to stress the code you've just written. It's inefficient, non-repeatable, and not always possible. For example, you have code that only runs on a certain day of the year. Console test rigs. When you create a console application to test your application, these are challenging to maintain and can be expensive to develop. Automated unit tests. Automated tests are great for regression tests, but are nowhere near as efficient as scripts for exploratory development. Additionally, they require a great deal of experience to do correctly. I still use automated tests after the fact, but I have completely stopped any form of test-driven development since moving to F sharp. Section 2.7, where scripts and the REPL fit in. F-hash scripts are an extra tool in the development lifecycle through which we can change how we develop. Figure 2.4 illustrates some of the different scenarios.
Figure 2.4, the different types of uses for scripts to apps, regression. Okay, literally just said that. All right. Can't decide if I wanted to stop there or not. We'll just go with don't stop.
As you can see, a great deal of development can be done in scripts, particularly in the exploratory phase of developing a project. By this, I mean anytime you want to create a new module or component in your application and want to start by sketching out a rough idea before formalizing it. Figure 2.4 represents my view of how you should use scripts and what a typical development cycle in F# might look like. You'll typically start in a script, trying things out. Once you're happy with the result, you'll port it into a full application, whether a console application, background service, web application, etc. Once done, you might do a quick end-to-end test just within the app to validate that things work in an integrated fashion. Perhaps you'll even automate that integration test. Finally, you may opt to write some regression tests to prove that the behavior of your code isn't accidentally changed in the future. In terms of creating new code or validating that something is working in the first place, as far as I'm concerned, the idea of console test rigs and test-driven development is out for most use cases. Until now, you've been taking my word for all of this, so the rest of this book will prove it through practical examples. I want to give you one last piece of advice before going any further. To fully benefit from learning F# in the most effective manner, to quote Yoda, you must unlearn what you have learned. If you can resist the temptation to see F# as an alternative syntax for designing code in the way you do today, and trust that there's an alternative way to solve the same kinds of problems, you're halfway there. Summary. F# encourages you to focus on composable, declarative code that promotes the separation of data and behavior. F# changes the relationship between you and the compiler. F# is a part of the .NET platform, which runs on Mac, Linux, and Windows. You can write F# in Visual Studio Code with the Ionide extension. The REPL and FSI are key tools for learning and working with F#. Scripts are great ways to create snippets of code and can be reused for multiple purposes. You can easily migrate from scripts into full-blown applications, so scripts are a natural starting point for applications.
Good to know, brother.
Chapter 3, F# Syntax Basics. This chapter covers understanding core F# syntax. Working with type inference in F#. Now that you've gained a basic understanding of F# tooling and have spent a little time writing some, admittedly simple, F#, it's time to learn about the core elements of the F# language. Many of the concepts and elements that you learn in this chapter are what I would call cross-cutting. They don't have specific effects in any one type of application or use case, but form the underpinnings of almost everything else in the language. So it's important to make sure you learn these concepts thoroughly. The first two, syntax and type inference, will give you an insight into the structure and look and feel of the language, while the second half of this chapter will help you understand how you'll be structuring and composing applications.
Okay, 1 second. If I could just get you to make it bigger. Just everything bigger. Appearance and behavior. Appearance. Dark is fine. It's fine. Pardon me. Change zoom with Alt Shift. Why do they gotta be different? Just do fucking control like every. Yeah, come on, brother. Alt Shift plus? What? Alt Shift plus, huh? Okay. Alt Shift plus. How about this? That's better. Hopefully that's just better. Custom font, enter 13. Contrast scroll bars. I like contrast. I do like that. I actually do have this problem. I wonder. It's hard to find stuff that actually helps, though. Usually it just does something crazy. I'm like, how do y'all even. How do y'all test this stuff? Because clearly we do not suffer from the same deficiency. Control as note that special colors for the red or green are only supported in IntelliJ Light and Darkula. See what I'm saying? Like, just say you hate us. Like that, it'd be easier. Or just say fuck you. You know, just do that. Compact mode, show full path. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Show main menu in a separate toolbar. In a separate. No, I don't need that. I can have a background image. I might do that. Drag and drop with Alt pressed only. No. Display icons, yes. Mnemonics, yes. Keep pop-ups open for toggle items. Keep pop-ups open for toggle items. Sure. Merge main menu. Okay. Show indent guides, yes. Use smaller indents, yes. Show tool window names. Widescreen tool window. Vertical tool windows by limiting width. Maximize the height of vertical tool windows by limiting the width. I don't know what that means. Side by side layout on the left, on the right. I don't know what that means either. Presentation mode, subpixel. Ugh. Cool. All right. Okay. That's actually way better. Um, is that? Yeah, that's perfect actually. Yeah, no, that's good. I won't fuck with it anymore. Now let's learn.
Now that you've gained a basic understanding of F-sharp tooling and have spent a little time writing some, admittedly simple, F-sharp, it's time to learn about the core elements of the F-sharp language. Many of the concepts and elements that you learn in this chapter are what I would call cross-cutting. They don't have specific effects in any one type of application or use case, but form the underpinnings of almost everything else in the language. So it's important to make sure you learn these concepts thoroughly. The first two, syntax and type inference, will give you an insight into the structure and look and feel of the language, while the second half of this chapter will help you understand how you'll be structuring and composing applications together and building basic routines at a fundamental level. Section 3.1, F-sharp syntax basics. The core syntax rules of a language say a lot about the feeling of the language. For example, some languages may focus on being highly explicit and verbose. I would, for example, put Java into this category. Others may be terse and powerful, but require more investment up front to understand what's going on. Haskell, perhaps. Others might be lightweight with the intention of getting out of your way, but don't allow you to easily define the rules of what you're trying to achieve, Go and perhaps Python. Section 3.1.1, Characteristics of F-sharp syntax. I would say that F-sharp's goal as a language from a syntactic point of view from day one has generally been to be highly succinct and highly safe. Most fans of dynamic languages complain that the syntax of statically typed languages is too verbose, which gets in the way of actually getting stuff done. And in some languages. I'd suggest Java as one. It's possibly true. The C# team has made a big effort to improve matters here, although I'm not entirely sold on the latest revisions of the language. Meanwhile, the C# Java folks, those coming from a static type system, point out that refactoring is difficult without a type checker and compiler, and potentially affects scaling a team without writing a large number of unit tests. F# hits a real sweet spot here. It's lightweight, readable, and type-safe all at the same time. Don't believe the myth that you can't have a programming language with all these three factors, because F# proves it's possible. I'd like to cover just a few points regarding these language characteristics, as it'll help you get into the right mindset when looking at F# code samples, and will probably bring into question some accepted fundamentals that you might be used to from other
Bro's
languages.
gaslighting. He talks a lot.
I've heard people use the word terse to describe F# syntax. However, this is misleading. It causes people to fear that F# is full of arcane symbols, with the goal being some kind of code golf to reduce the number of characters used in a program. That's totally incorrect. Succinct is a far more appropriate term. It refers to F#'s stripping away of unnecessary symbols and keywords that other languages rely on, resulting in your code having a far greater percentage of text relating to business logic than syntax. Readability. F# code is generally very pleasing to the eye. Of course, I'll acknowledge that this is a somewhat subjective matter, but it's been my observation that compared to other languages I've worked in, it's far easier to write code in F# that is easy to understand. For example, F# has a relatively small number of symbols and characters needed for different features, far less than, say, modern C#. Many operators you might see in other languages don't exist in F#, instead replaced with human-readable functions. For example, instead of negation being exclamation mark at the start of an expression, F# has a function called not. The lightweight syntax helps, while F# also has some nice tricks up its sleeve to make it easy to create domain-specific languages, DSLs, and write code that can be read by non-technical people, which is very useful when you're trying to validate that your model aligns with the business purpose. Sensible defaults. F# has defaults optimized to the most common cases, meaning that we need to type less to get the same thing done as in many other languages. In effect, this means that your code will generally have a much higher amount of code that relates to the problem you're trying to solve rather than code that's there to satisfy the compiler. A good example of this is public versus private status. In many other languages, members are private by default, and you must explicitly mark members on classes as public, even though more often than not, members are public rather than private. F# flips this around, so public is the default. Don't be alarmed if you're coming from languages such as C# or Java. You'll see in upcoming chapters why it's perfectly safe in F#. Consistency. Where possible, F# uses a core set of language constructs and symbols that can be applied in many places. For example, functions and simple values are declared using the same pattern and syntax.
See this code.
Notice both use the same let XX =$ pattern. In this way, you can think of simple values as being the same as functions, except that they happen not to take in any parameters. This philosophy of consistency is replicated in many places in the language. There are very few one-off language keywords for specific features, but rather flexible and general-purpose ones that cover many different situations. For instance, the type keyword is used to define records, classes, interfaces, and unions, instead of having multiple keywords for each. Another example is the async await pattern prevalent today in many other languages, which, interestingly, was originally modeled on F#'s async blocks. In F#, async await is replaced with a general-purpose language feature that can be used in many different situations, not just for asynchronous code. A worked example. Listing 3.1 contains a typical F# code snippet showing the definition of a function that takes in a number as input, adds 10 to it, and then doubles it. It then prints out a description of what it's done before returning the answer to the caller.
Listing 3.1, F# syntax basics.
Here are some of the things to watch out for. No parentheses. F# uses parentheses in a few places, but they are usually not required to signify the start and end of arguments to functions that you define or call, as can be seen when creating the URI object. No curly braces. F# is whitespace sensitive and expects all lines within any scope to start at the same column. Try indenting any line in listing 3.1 by a space, and you'll receive a compiler error. No semicolons. F# doesn't require semicolons to end a line. Simply forget that they were ever needed. F# doesn't need them for this. No new keyword. The new keyword can generally be omitted when creating objects. F# thinks of the constructor on a type as a static function and lets you treat it as such instead of as some kind of unique construct in the language. No return keyword. The last expression of a function is automatically the return value. Therefore, there's no need to use the return keyword. No type annotations. F# mostly doesn't require any guidance from you for the types of values, known as type annotations, yet it is a highly type-safe language. These features all work together to make the F# syntax what it is. For example, consistency and simplicity are only feasible because the syntax is generally concise, whereas some other languages need custom keywords or features as shortcuts for different specific scenarios. Compare listing 3.1 with an alternative, mostly valid F# version in the following listing that adds in the extra baggage that was omitted.
Listing 3.2, a verbose version of F# syntax basics.
This code is no more type-safe or readable than the original. The only thing we've achieved is to increase the cognitive overhead by adding more symbols and words to wade through that have given us very little. It's more code to write, more to read, and more to maintain. Section 3.1.2, the let keyword. Let's move on and look at the let keyword. This is the most important keyword you'll use in F#. It allows you to bind values to symbols. We can illustrate its use in this arbitrary example.
See this code.
Functions are just values. F# treats both functions and simple values in the same way. They're just values. Some values take in arguments, in other words, functions, and others don't, numbers, customers, strings, etc. But you can treat them the same way in your application insofar as, for example, you pass them around your application as arguments, bind them to symbols, and so on. A good way to understand let is to think of it as a copy and paste instruction. Wherever you see this symbol used in code, replace it with the value on the right-hand side of the equal sign. This code sample may illustrate this idea a little.
See this code.
This is the same as
See this code.
Why the fuck isn't my... Oh my god.
bar and let.
Main menu, alt fucking slash, dude. This is... I fucking hate code editor. It's the worst part of programming. Fucking god damn. How do I get here? Alt slash, and then you... Oh, wait a minute. Hey, just kidding, brother. That's a forward slash. Oh, okay. Take back everything I said. Sorry about that. God, now I just... Alright, I swear this is the last part. Now that I know it's working. I thought the Vim... Let's try and do two things at once. I thought this was fucking it up. But I was wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong. And now... To make up for it, I'm going to go ahead and cop a few more plugins. People hate Copilot. All right, last restart, brother. Connect. Hopefully that works. And we're going to restart here. Consistency. All right, now I'll actually listen. Sensible defaults. Okay.
Sensible defaults. F# has defaults optimized to the most common cases, meaning that we need to type less to get the same thing done as in many other languages. In effect, this means that your code will generally have a much higher amount of code that relates to the problem you're trying to solve, rather than code that's there to satisfy the compiler. I've heard people use the word terse to describe F# syntax. However, this is misleading. It causes people to fear that F# is full of arcane symbols, with the goal being some kind of code golf to reduce the number of characters used in a program. That's totally incorrect. Succinct is a far more appropriate term. It refers to F# stripping away of unnecessary symbols and keywords that other languages rely on, resulting in your code having a far greater percentage of text relating to business logic than syntax. Readability. F# code is generally very pleasing to the eye. Of course, I'll acknowledge that this is a somewhat subjective matter, but it's been my observation that compared to other languages I've worked in, it's far easier to write code in F# that is easy to understand. For example, F# has a relatively small number of symbols and characters needed for different features, far less than, say, modern C#. Many operators you might see in other languages, for example, instead of negation being expression, F has a function called not. The lightweight syntax help has some nice tricks up its create domain-specific languages, DSLs, and write code that can be read by non-technical people, which is very useful when you're trying to validate that your model aligns with the business purpose. Sensible defaults. F# has defaults optimized to the most common cases, meaning that we need to type less to get the same thing done as in many other languages. In effect, this means that your code will generally have a much higher amount of code that relates to the problem you're trying to solve, rather than code that's there to satisfy the compiler. A good example of this is public versus private status. In many other languages, members are private by default, and you must explicitly mark members on classes as public, even though more often than not, members are public rather than private. F# flips this around, so public is the default. Don't be alarmed if you're coming from languages such as C# or Java. You'll see in upcoming chapters why it's perfectly safe in F#. Consistency. Where possible, F# uses a core set of language constructs constructs and symbols that can be applied in many places.
Fuck is it doing? Like, JetBrains fucking sucks, dude. Okay, they don't suck, but like, I don't understand why the SSH thing is just so fucking difficult. This machine is sitting right next to me. What the fuck takes so long to fucking just connect and run it, brother? God damn. Man, fuck it, dude. I tried. Just fucking forget it. You know. Look, it's like, yeah, I got 64 gigs of RAM on this thing, and I told it it could use 20 of it. Like, what is it doing? What are you getting hung up on? Haven't even fucking started writing anything. Just get the fuck out of here. No wonder that shit's free, brother. God damn. JetBrains rider, fucking ass. Get. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. You can go. You can go. All y'all. Just get the hell out. I thought fucking VS Code was jank, dude. That's fucking stupid. Okay, see you later. Yep, you're welcome. Okay, just go back to good old Janky Joe. That's what I call it, Janky Joe. But it fucking works. Oh, did I click it? Old faithful. Look at that. I'm already connected. It's loading. Language server just loaded. It crashed 5 times. The server will not be restarted. Huh? God. .NET run. Program is empty. Oh yeah, it was Alt Enter. Alt Enter. And then we got our from the last chapter. Whatever, it ran successfully. We're not doing that shit again, but okay, so we're good. Let's go.
Where possible, F# uses a core set of language constructs and symbols that can be applied in many places. For example, functions and simple values are declared using the same pattern and syntax.
See this code.
Notice both use the same let XX equal sign.
Let my function. Herc was on a roll. Let my function. arg1, arg2 equal. So this is it's an indented language, which is interesting. It's not, I didn't really consider that, but that's fine, I guess. I suppose it doesn't really matter. But we'll see. Oh wait, let my simple value equal 99.
Notice both use the same let XX equal sign pattern. In this way, you can think of simple values as being the same as functions, except that they happen not to take in any parameters. This philosophy of consistency is replicated in many places in the language. There are very few one-off language keywords for specific features, but rather flexible and general purpose.
Wait, no, both use the same. Yeah. In this way, you can think of simple values as being the same as functions, except that they happen not to take in any parameters. That is a little weird. What do you mean? You can think of simple values being the same as functions, except they Happen not to take in any parameters. Weird. So you don't. I'm buffering. My brain is buffering. Okay, so my function. So it's almost okay. So you're writing a function because it's a functional language, but you're saying let. So I'm thinking in my head, it's like you're defining a variable, but you're not. It's a function. arg1, arg2, and this little ghost text is telling you. Okay, so this is really how I can think about it. It's saying they said that little apostrophe A is for any. That's like a generic placeholder type for any type. So any type can return any. Any type B can return any type C. And this is an int. Oh, because we're leaving it wide open. I guess. But why do I get a squiggle? Why do I get a squiggle here? Unexpected syntax, possible incorrect indentation. This token is offside of context started at position 1-1. I guess this is not how you would normally write it. He's just showing us. Okay, we'll keep going.
Notice both use the same let XX equal sign pattern. In this way, you can think of simple values as being the same as functions, except that they happen not to take in any parameters. This philosophy of consistency is replicated in many places in the language. There are very few one-off language keywords for specific features, but rather flexible and general-purpose ones that cover many different situations. For instance, the type keyword is used to define records, classes, interfaces, and unions, instead of having multiple keywords for each.
Okay, so now, okay, I need to start. Oh, wait, I have my other tool. I forgot. So, yeah, so now that I have this thing, right? I mean, I can go ahead and put it in here. It's fine, but now that I have philosophy fee, didn't have to cut me up. Taking it a bit of another. I wanted to see. Well, I'll tell you in a minute. Let's keep going.
This philosophy of consistency is replicated in many places in the language. There are very few one-off language keywords for specific features, but rather flexible and general-purpose ones that cover many different situations.
Yeah, this is what I want.
For instance, the type keyword is used to define records, classes, interfaces, and unions, instead of having multiple keywords for each. Another example is the async await pattern prevalent today in many other languages, which, interestingly, was originally modeled on F-sharp's async blocks. In F-sharp, async await is replaced with a general-purpose language feature that can be used in many different situations, not just for asynchronous code. A worked example. Listing 3.1 contains a typical F-sharp code snippet showing the definition of a function that takes in a number as input, adds 10 to it, and then doubles it. It then prints out a description of what it's done before returning the answer to the caller.
Listing 3.1.
Let add 10, then double the number. Okay, this is real code, so this makes more sense. This is so weird. Okay, it's a functional. I gotta remember it's a functional program language. So it's implicit returns. Yeah. Let add 10, then double the number is equal to. So when you write, I'm gonna ask Claude. Claude's always good at explaining this stuff. Where you at, buddy? In terms of reasoning about F sharp, can I think of the below code as writing a function okay. It's nice and familiar, brother. No, I mean I knew that, but I guess it's still weird seeing the let in front of it, because normally you would see let in here and you're just creating properties, but it's not how that works here. So this is like your signature, function signature. So it takes an integer, because this is of type integer. Simply arf. What is that? And then it returns an integer, which is answer. Oh, sick. You can open the docs? Docs for what? What the fuck is arf? What is that? Uh, arf. What is arf? F sharp. Arf isn't a. Uh, oh, that's what I named the file. Oh, that's just some bull. Okay, that's just some bullshit name I gave the script name. Okay, okay, let's just go back. All right, but that's what it's saying. So okay, so this is it is a function, and this is just how you write them. Oh man, I'm confused. But everything's a function, so I guess that's the difference. That's the paradigm shift. Does this run? Seems like. Press enter to close script. Pressing enter. Oh, I gotta give it. Okay. No. Bro, what? Alt enter. Which one are you looking at? Get rid of this. Do yeah, reveal. There's the actual program. So get rid of Scratchpad. And ARF, the scripting thing is kind of throwing me off here. So let's just stick with the FS, regular F sharp file. There we go. Okay, so now, yeah, I just want to stick to the. Nothing will happen. Oh, I thought it would run .NET run. Maybe that I'm thinking of something else. Program or FS. No, am I thinking of Rust? I was just doing a Rust thing. I think I'm getting them fucked up. How about Alt Enter? Oops. Sorry. Enter. Or do I have to? Three? Do I even need this? Add 10, then doubles not defined. Ah, okay, bruh. Okay. So wait, but do I need this? I do need that. Otherwise, yeah, it can't do anything. Okay. Oh, and that's the whole unit thing, which is void because it's okay. Now see, brother. This is good. Okay. All right. So now that I get okay, so that's the definition. I'm a dummy. All right, that's the function definition. Then you have to use it. Okay. Okay. I know. Yeah. I like that. When I actually use my brain, it makes sense. Okay. So then in that case, why don't you come up here in the editor so I don't have to do that. So now we can bump out a little bit. Clear. I can't do that. Q. Dude. Yeah, I wish it could just stay here, but maybe it can't do that. But oh, I can split them. Ooh, that might be better, actually. Program. Don't need this. This better for me. It's good for me. It's good for you. Okay. A worked example. 3.1 contains a typical F# code snippet showing the definition of a function that takes in a number as input, adds 10 to it, and then doubles it. It then prints out a description of what it is done, of what it's done. There shouldn't be an apostrophe there. Done before returning the answer to the caller. Okay. That's pretty cool, honestly, about the live books. Yeah, that's neat. So, oh, I didn't realize. So, can I? You can see other people's comments here. Ah, oh, that's a neat. If you can, that's a really neat idea. I don't know if that's. Oh, I think it is because that's what's at the top of the page. But I'm not gonna go there right now. That's pretty cool though. Okay, so yeah, add 10. So really these are all just I just got to get used to that. These are function definitions, which duh, it's a functional language. But okay, so that's gonna take some getting used to. But you still have the caller, so that's still a thing. I thought we were like using it on the fly. So I guess that's my other question because I was kind of thinking in my head at least that was the whole language, like just super dynamic. Everything is. So what does what would you call that? What does an anonymous function look like in F hash? Oh, they call them lambdas. Okay, that's easy enough. Uh, let add equal. Oh, just like OCaml. So okay, so there's some stuff I gotta get used to here. Even more stuff. So there's no commas. I guess that's kind of what is throwing me off too. There is no comma separated values for the arguments. Anywhere. I guess it's just single semicolon even inside the arrays here. Odd, but I do like that. I like that. Oh wait, there's but here. Oh, that's Swift. That's a Swift example. Okay. They're not very similar, but I know, but it just that was the last thing that I really learned in depth, and so that's how I can kind of relate things here. That's why I asked it about Swift. List filter. So I guess my question then is, let me start a new chat. Concerning f hash, please answer. How are values right inside is keyword fun only used otherwise how is scope okay array and argument. I just saw the array and argument delimiters use okay function arguments are separated by spaces. Oh. Oh. Wow. Let is the main way to define named functions. That is okay. That's really going to take some getting used to, but I like that. So no parentheses at all. Just straight up, huh? It really is like now that I'm thinking back to I spent maybe like 2 weeks learning OCaml, like just going through the book. I didn't write a proper program. I just got it set up. Honestly, the fucking setup took forever, dude. That's always the hardest fucking part. It's so annoying. Anyway, but no, it was a fun language. So yeah, this is like it's basically OCaml. That is so cool. It looks so cool. I like how it looks. It's just hard to get used to in practice. Okay, so these are functions. Let add. So I'm naming it. It's called add. X and Y are the arguments. Let multiply equal this lambda. Oh, okay. So this is okay. I think I get it now, or I get how I can conceive of this. So yeah, in terms of relating this to a language like Swift or Rust, when I write let function name equal I guess arg1 arg arg2 equal. That is the equivalent of writing, what is in function? Yeah, function. Function name arg1 arg2 with types or whatever, but we're going to put there. Return fat arrow type. Some logic. Return value. All right, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so now I can click here. That's okay. Man, that is really snazzy. Why wouldn't everybody want to do this? They probably would. They just don't know it exists. That's way better, brother. Oh my gosh. Okay, so all right. Let me not get too excited here. Okay. The F# let function definition is equivalent to those more C style. Okay, so that's what they call them, or that's how I can conceive of them. C style, I guess that's like C family languages. Oh, that's right, because OCaml and F# would be ML. That's like the other family, right? ML style. God, now I have another question, but I don't want to break up this conversation, so I will bring in the other AI. They ask my other AI, what does this, to me, though, honestly, is the best application of AI. All that bullshit about whatever, it's just a good information gatherer. It's a better search engine. Shut up about everything else. It's fucking stupid. Shut up. What does ML stand for in terms of, speaking of ML, of languages? What is on my leg, bro? Meta language. Okay. General purpose functional programming language known for its strong type system. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's very, very cool. Yeah. I still like Rust. I wish it's a small thing, but I just like it. Effing, it just makes sense to me. Swift isn't funk. That's not how you say it. You damn, you damn liar. Uh, does it? Swift doesn't use. That's Go. It's bitch ass. Go's bitch ass. I caught you slipping, Claude, brother. Better watch it. That's Go's ugly ass. Go has like the worst syntax. It's a cool. I love their build system. They're honestly like Go. It's so awesome to just. It really is super easy. You don't need anything else. It's not attached to LLVM and all the bullshit. It's its own thing. So in that way, it's very cool. You just download it, set two variables, go path, go bin. You don't even have to do that, but I would if you're going to install libraries, which obviously you are if you're an app developer. So you just got to do that, put that in your path, download the binary. That's it. Go mod init in any directory, and you're ready to start programming. It'll create the first file for you. In that way, it's like very cool, and I envy it. But it just fucked it up with like its method callers is super ugly. It's disgusting. It doesn't seem to play well with other libraries either. You have to like literally copy paste other people's code and just recreate it as a package. If you like make a wrong turn, it's like hard to undo shit. So I mean, in that way, it's anyway. None of that matters. I'm just saying, everything is a struggle. Okay, life is a struggle. Just suffer. Just shut up. Suffer.
See this code.
Notice both use the same let XX equal sign pattern. In this way, you can think of simple values as being the same as functions, except that they happen not to take in any parameters. This philosophy of consistency is replicated in many places in the language. There are very few one-off language keywords for specific features, but rather flexible and general-purpose ones that cover many different situations.
But I wanted to let Claude finish what he was telling me. Okay, so the comparison is one correct way to think about the two paradigms comparatively if you are like me and have written C-style languages and are now trying out a functional language. So that's how we can conceive of that. So all this ceremony here is represented like so, since it is a functional language unto itself. That's what let is doing, is defining. Okay, but I wanted to ask him the other thing, but I guess he's going to answer that. Okay, so F# has type inference, so that's fine. I knew that part. Which is awesome because Elixir that's the part Elixir lacks. And I know they're gonna add a type system. Well, that's gonna be a fucking shit show. What a shit show. I could go off on that. I'm gonna go off on that later. But I'll wait because I want to actually stand something up, man. F# doesn't require an explicit return keyword. Right. Implicit return. I don't know that I've come across a language that doesn't have implicit return. I think it's fine. I mean, it makes sense. I think that's not too much to ask. Go does some stuff that is too much to ask in terms of syntax. Like .itoa and fucking interfaces. Disgusting, dude. It automatically returns the last expression. F# uses spaces instead of commas for parameters. F# uses spaces instead of commas for parameters. Oh, right. Yeah. That's awesome. Okay. F# uses equal sign instead of, yeah, okay, and that's really, that was the big one. So for the function body, now you're doing equals and then white space indentation style instead of function body scope by squigglies. We'll see how that turns. I'm going to end up doing both. Like I like Rust a lot. I like how it looks. It's basically Swift, but better, in my opinion. Like I like Rust style. Like not even considering obviously the performance is better, but I think in time, like they're both LLVM languages, right? At the end of the day, so whatever. They're going through this big ass massive machine. They're both like monsters in terms of they're slow to compile. How about that? They're fucking slow to compile. I forgot what I was in a rant about. I got like 2 hours of sleep last night, brother. But yeah, I end up doing something around this. I want to start with F# because that's what I'm going to use like on a daily basis. And I saw some stuff I didn't get to show y'all. I'll show y'all before I end the stream today. I saw this. Well, actually, I won't show y'all. Let somebody that's way more knowledgeable show us. But F# has this thing of you can define units of measure. So it's like a zero cost development abstraction. So once you actually compile your code, it just takes it out. But while you're actually writing code, you can actually apply real world metrics and measurements and quantities. Like if you wanted to, because that's what I'm going to have to do anyway. It's basically a way to represent the physical world in development. So instead of like working with arrays and lists, now you can just say, now you can relate objects. Like I'll be working in Azure, so I'll say one customer can't make more than one report, and a report is represented by, no more than 20 text nodes. But text nodes can be represented as a type, and it can have a quantity, so I don't have to say or define what that is any more than one time. So we're gonna use that for sure. That's probably a terrible way to explain it, but you will see it. But it's really cool because it's actually what I've always wanted, which is pretty cool. And I didn't know it existed. So I'm excited for that. I'm definitely going to use that. F sharp doesn't require an explicit return keyword. F sharp uses. Okay, yeah, so we got that part. Multi-line function. Okay, white space, yeah. And then you just take it. So, okay, but I think the only other. Okay, yeah, so, but when you write something like that, blah, arg equal kr let blah 2 arg i.e. multi-line function is that the same as okay, yeah, tell me, brother. The pipe operator is similar to chaining with dots. It takes the result. Okay, that's why I like Claude. He knew what I meant. I did not at all ask the question correctly, but that's what I. Okay, so yeah, Claude is awesome. Got you. Okay, so this is just nested. Shit. This is just nested scope if you're doing other functions inside of a higher kind here. The pipe would be each pipe passes the previous result. Okay, yeah, okay, that makes sense. So this is a more concise way to, I guess you could do the same thing with these, but that would be stupid. Yeah, that would be stupid given the pipe operator exists, and especially for stuff that I'm going to be writing like data pipelines, this makes perfect sense because it's a literal representation of what has to happen. There is no like break in scope or different function. It's all truly a single process. Like you wouldn't just stop in the middle and store the output of the filter somewhere. I mean, you might, but we're not gonna. So you're literally just working it through these transform steps, and you can represent it that way. Okay, man, that's really cool. Okay, and then my last question before we get back to it. Oh, I see. Oh, I didn't know you could do that in Swift. Shoot, brother. Well, I mean, I guess I'm sure Rust has that too. So whatever. I'm getting too ahead of myself. But all right. So then you can chain like this. Let result. So this would be a function called result. So it's like, hey, give me the result for, and then it's going to step through 1 through 10 and apply all these transforms. And then I get the sum at the end of the list. Wow, it's almost like it's almost too like it's almost too straightforward. Like I'm searching for the. I'm like, what's the gotcha? What do you mean? It can't just like do that, but it does. It just does that. That's kind of wild. We'll have to see it. I want to see it, but that's enough theory for now. Actually, one more theoretical question or one more conceptual question: is the fun only used then for lambda? Great, brother. Okay. I love when I can just put something in one little box and I know that every time I see it, it just means that one thing. It just means one thing. So if I see fun anywhere, I know it's a lambda. It's not multiple things. Um, I don't like that. Oh, man, I wish it was FN, but whatever. Doesn't matter. Now, think of fun as being similar to right. But okay, I have one more question because now it brings up another thing. Um, are because I know in Rust, I was just reading this because I've been reading the book. I ordered the hard copy, edition 2, baby. It's a good read. But I know that the double pipe, this would mean a closure, or I mean an anonymous function. But are all lambdas closures? Ah, yes, motherfucker. No, that's good. Okay, so then I can lay that to rest as well. And all lambdas are closures. They can capture and access variables from. Their enclosing scope. Here's an example, brother. But this is getting further out there, but they can capture and access variables from. Cloud is legit. All right, I actually want to save all of this, so make sure my little tool's grabbing it. You sure did, brother. I wish it would save it though as HTML. Save it as. I don't want it as. I think if I just do the whole. Damn it, dude. Hold on. Yeah, somehow if I do it this way, you would think it would be more difficult for it, but it'll just get it. Like, look at there. That's what I wanted. Because my primary concern is the code blocks, the distinction, and the yeah, and then my response is just in okay, man, dude, fucking this thing was $30. It's not a subscription. I know it's not all that great looking, right? Typical Windows program, but This thing is fucking awesome. It saves everything that you like anything that you send to your clipboard. It saves it to a SQLite database on your machine. No bullshit, just SQLite database straight up. It'll capture rich text, obviously, or plain text, or both. You can tell it to do both. And the best part about it, you really don't. I mean, you can come back and you can assign, like, you can do all kinds of additional, like, the highlights. You can make your own. It comes with these canned, but you can make your own categories, right? But you really don't have to because it captures the URL if it is from a URL, which is beautiful. That's already enough context because most of the stuff it is from a URL, but you still see the source program, right? Browser, SVC, Dropbox, you know. It captures images too. And the best part, window title. So you already have, like, you could run this through a parser alone because obviously you're not going to want to keep like everything. I bet I have a lot of repeats in here from like, I was wondering how bad it would get because it's literally everything that you're copying, right? Like when I'm going through commands, like you see, these are a lot of, but it's easy. Like it's so fast. I don't really have to worry about like, okay, it's gone. Fuck, dude, this is so good. And like, this is a big thing and it just saves it. Fucking look at that. Just straight up out of the. This is incredible software. I gotta shout these guys out. Anyway, Clipcache Pro, it's $30. They have this other automated software. I didn't need it, but it looked awesome too. It's kind of like Selenium, if you ever use that, where you can automate. Like literally, you can record macros. You know when you, I think Excel has this too, where you can record actions. So you say start recording, and then you do a bunch of stuff in the spreadsheet, and then stop recording, and it'll just repeat that for you whenever you want to run it. It'll do that for like your entire system. It'll mimic your mouse movements. It's pretty sick. I mean, you can, if you set up a little whatever. That's not the point. But go check these guys out. Clipcache Pro for $30, dude. This is a fucking game changer for me. That gets thrown around a lot. This is actually a game changer for me. I don't even need to really. Now I can just come back and review and build useful documents. Like I'm gonna put all of this stuff that I'm copying eventually in Noti. But I mean, the app doesn't even matter now. Like what I use to represent the notes at the end doesn't really matter. The real repository of knowledge is Clipcache, all safe on a database that I own locally on my machine. And if you're like, oh, what about backup, brother? Well, you can put it wherever you want, meaning the database. So you could just rsync it somewhere, or if you don't even want to fuck around with that, you can just literally say, put the database, because it lets you choose, put the database inside of the folder that syncs to my Dropbox, and now I have automatic backup. Like, incredible. Fucking incredible. This has to be written in like C or C++. Like, it's so fucking fast. It's incredible. Anyway, I'll quit jacking this thing off. But yeah, I just want to shout that out. I fucking love it. But I'm trying to get to that level. Write some shit that's really useful. I mean, not like a desktop program because that's not my aim, but something very useful like that. Like that solves a real problem. That's fucking awesome. Okay, anyway. Did I read this or not? Closure. Oh no, here, yeah. Are all lambdas are closures. They can capture and access variables from their enclosing scope. Create counter. Let create counter equal. So huh. Sometimes Claude says weird things. I don't know why are the I just don't know why are these here? Why are the there in your first example that differ from a normal function in relation to F sharp? We can drop the Swift Rust comparisons. The parentheses in F sharp is a unit type parameter. It's used when a function doesn't need any meaningful input, but you still want to control when it's evaluated. Oh. Without parameters, evaluated immediately when defined. Let immediate value with unit parameter evaluated only when called. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So okay. So I see. I know what I just told them, but now I'm gonna do it again. Okay. So let immediate value is like an expression in a ceiling, and let immediate value is like ceiling function func name function definition basically. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. So we're calling them different things, but like the output is the same, or the instance and when the output occurs is the same. You could also think about, yeah, okay. Cool, brother. I don't think I got this part, so I'm gonna get this part. Babadi cinema. Comp to expression and funk. See family. I like Noti, but dude, why does it do this? Like, come on. Yeah, it just doesn't work. I think I'm gonna get a refund for this shit, dude. It doesn't. It doesn't work with the code inside at all. It's hard to find a tool that gives you the local application though, so that's like the only reason I put up with it. But and what is all that? See it chopped up? It chopped up. God damn it. Actually, this will be a good. Let me see if so if I just give it raw because this is what would normally the other app I give like high it's like primo. This is a newer app, so I'm like okay fine that's cool. Uh, I shouldn't expect you to get just raw HTML just willy nilly straight up like the other app because that's incredible. Most apps can't, but if you say you support Markdown, and that is what this is, so I'm gonna give you proper title, and then I go to a proper content block. That's still not good enough. Man, fuck this, dude. Oh wait, now I did it. No, I didn't. God, fucking bloody fucking. It's annoying as shit, man. It's so janky. I mean, I'm not gonna get mad. I'm not gonna get mad. I'm just gonna ask for my money back. That's all. Now we're just riffing. Yeah, because this is $100. It's $100 lifetime. It'll probably get better. Every time I get pissed off, I'm like, I have to remember. I'm like, okay, this is lifetime, and it just came out, and I should know better. But okay, but here's a good comparison. Actually, did I? Yeah, I still got it. Scrintal. I was actually in this position because I'm always fucking hopping apps, dude. It's the bane of my existence. But Scrintal was Nody a year ago for me. I saw it. I got all excited. I love infinite board apps, right? And for whatever reason, I just can't seem to just fucking use Obsidian. Like I don't know. I like the idea that there's always something more niche and like, ooh, I use this, brother. You ever heard of that? Oh, I never heard of that. Oh, well, guess I'm cool because I use I use niche tools no one really knows about. But hence F sharp. But still, at a certain point, pragmatism has to collide with your desire to use these tools, and then they need to be assessed. So now, let's see what Scrintal does, because now Scrintal's been out for a year. And see, brother, like, that's just not good enough. Like, you can't. Oh, wait, maybe if I create doc. It's still bullshit to me because, like, okay, let me show you. Because if this doesn't work, then I'll shut up. But my issue is that this is just fucking Markdown. There you go. This is proper fucking Markdown. This is straight from Claude copy into Dillinger, who is using Common Mark, which is why I came here. Just fucking use that. Like, why? This isn't useful. Guys, Scrintal, Nody. What do you mean? You don't support Markdown if I can't fucking come here from a different app. I shouldn't have to use your bullshit. Like if I blah blah blah. JavaScript. Now it works. Or, I mean, I'm pretty sure it'll take anything. Yeah, I mean, it'll take. So, I mean, but that's what, like, just take it like this as a paste, obviously. I shouldn't have to come do all, because now that's of no use to me. So anyway, that's why I get pissed off with these apps. Let me make sure I canceled. Let me make sure I cancel my, because the re-up is coming at the end of December, I think. I just want to make sure. And they say it's a desk. It's not a. It's fucking Electron. Just, I feel like apps should also have to say that. If it's just Electron, you need to tell me. You should have to tell me if that's what it is. Now, if you went out of your way to write a native app, I feel like you should still tell me, and I will give you props and give you kudos and favor the app and actually give it more leeway. But if you're just going to go to, I didn't realize that it was quite this easy. This is my own naivete showing, but I'm going to show y'all. And I saved the link, and I don't remember what it was, but service Electron app. It's just like, it's a framework you can roll your web apps through, and it'll just build an Electron app for you effectively. Oh, you know what? You know who you know who doos is? You know who does do this very well, and I respect for being so transparent? Canopio. Canopio is awesome because not only are they transparent about it, and it's super affordable, and this one actually worked. Like, look, it's limited in the character count, but if I paste this in here, or maybe not. Split. Oh, snap. Well, whatever. That's not what Canopio's for. And this is another infinite board app, but Canopio's cool because, like, wherever it's like for quick little notes, right? Quick little ones. But what's cool is you can make the little attachments, and it's so you can do damage with Canopio in terms of like visualizations. It's good at its job, is all I'm saying. I have nothing bad to say. But there is this. I know it's in my history. There it is right there. How Canopio's made. Yeah. Okay. And in here they tell you this guy. It's just one guy, one brilliant guy. Oh, to desktop. That's what it's called. To desktop. Okay, so that's what I was looking for. There we go. Yeah, so if you're just using something like this, look at all these apps that do this. Which, look, fine, but say that, because like I can just download I'd rather just download an Edge app, right? What's the fucking difference? You can access my file system now. Is that the difference? That's not like a lot of times that is not like boards other than Nodi. Nodi is different, and which is why I paid for it in the first place, because this is actual local storage. But like Scrintal, Board Mix, Eraser, Excalidraw, all of these are web services. The data isn't on your local system. And even if it is, it's just temporary. Like, they may use some kind of caching, smart caching for performance, but it doesn't live on your local. Nodi, actually, there is no web service on the other end. It's designed to be local, but it's also their own format. So it's like meant for exchange. Like, you keep it's all your data, but like this clipboard app, I can't go and like query it in a SQLite database. On Nodi, it's in some kind of .p canvas. It's their own proprietary file format, so I can see all my data, do whatever I want with it, but I can't go and extract it willy nilly from the back end effectively. So like the only interface is Nodi itself. There you go. That's what I was trying to say. So anyway, my life has been a tussle between these kinds of applications. And now I'm just circling all the way back to, but the point is, I just want to have a space where I can do that. Like, you know what? I'm going to be mad if, actually, I think either OneNote, that's why I repinned it here. OneNote doesn't do it inherently in terms of Markdown, but what I really like about OneNote, it's always had this part, but it's always kind of had this. It doesn't call itself infinite canvas, but it's always been that, because if you know anything about OneNote, like anywhere that you write is a text block. But it's even better than like Notion or any of these blocks, quote unquote block systems. Like even I'll show you an example because you'll recognize this, but you know, like most of the new web apps have this notion of every content is a block. That's what this little draggy thing is, so you can move stuff around, right? Like to them, that's blocks, and that's cool. Also has very annoying properties, like shit like this. So you're effectively like, when you're talking about formatting, now you're saying all of these are separate instances that can have separate formatting. That can be a good and a bad thing. It's a terrible thing whenever you're doing shit like this and you want to fix everything in unison or apply something globally, if it even fucking works. So that's a big downside. But the good thing about OneNote, its blocks are the same way, but it does a better job of letting you do what you want to each block individually, and also allowing for, like, I can come here and do whatever I want to the formatting, but if I wanted to do it to the whole page, I can also do that, and that's pretty easy. But also, like, anywhere that you kind of like Excalibur, anywhere that you put your cursor, there's no like grid system confining you. I just saw myself on one. I don't know why I quit using OneNote, honestly, because this is just so freeform and badass. So I'm just gonna use OneNote, dude. I don't know why. Like Scrintal, you can't even sniff OneNote's ass on this. Like, I don't know why I deviated, honestly. Actually, I do know why, but it's not important right now. And it was foolish. I should have never left. I just lost all my progress because my stupid ass didn't. When I got laid off, I had a backup, but it was an older backup, and then in a desperate rebellious action, I was like, I'm fucking not going corporate no more. I'm gonna use shitty early adoption tools instead. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I don't know, but I should just fucking use OneNote, dude, because it has everything. It has the clipper, your categories. You get notebooks. Notebooks have tabs, or sorry, sections. Sections have pages. Pages have blocks. It's all integrated. It's actually a really good iPad app. Interestingly enough, it's like really good. Maybe not the best, but it's definitely top 3 still, and it's a fucking Microsoft app. And the best part is this OneMark plugin. I think it was like $30 also. It works well. I think just the only thing is, yeah, Shift Enter. Is that what is that? what was that little? Actually, I think that was my only gripe was also this kind of same deal where I couldn't paste from other. Actually, yeah, that now that I've come back to it, that was my only gripe because if I do just a new block code, um, yeah, then it works really well. But for some reason, but maybe I don't. Can I just do like a right click convert? Transit? No. Auto enable. Yeah, I mean, I think that was my only gripe was not being able to pick it up. But I think it's just because of whatever. I don't know what happens in the background to the new block, but like if I put it into a. Why doesn't it? That's what I don't get. Like, I don't. That's the part, this declaration right here, I think is the part that most things don't expect, but it also always. I don't know how to explain it really, but it works everywhere. Like, you can do that here too, I think. Like, it doesn't matter what you call it. Yeah, something. Well, like on this one, it doesn't show it, but a lot of times, like with Common Mark, it'll just whatever the thing is that you just. You know what I need is my pointer, brother. I just need to go back to my old tools, man, because I had it all set up. I went and fucked it up. I had to go fucking get all cute, fucking fancy. He's trying to find a better way, but honestly, you know what was missing in all that was this tool here. If I would have had not this, not Epic Pen is awesome too, but if I would have had this, I would never went on all that fucking dick chasing. Honestly, because this is really the this solves everything. Now I have my representation, so if it's HTML representation that I want, like this, believe I can just, yeah, like you can save it off to a different file if you want. Which is interesting because they use, is this, yeah, HTML, they're using HTML. Isn't that cool? Which is, Preact came up with HTML. So it's like JSX, but it doesn't require a build step. So it works just in, it's a template literals inside JavaScript. It's pretty sick. So I get okay. So that makes sense. That's how they're doing it. So yeah. So they're keeping up with this. This must be updated often, obviously. But yeah. So there's the database. But yeah, if I would have had this, if this works, then I don't need. That's that's not what I expected to happen. Wait, what? Oh, I picked the wrong thing. My bad. Okay, that's my fault. Wait, why is it doing that? Yeah, okay, yeah, this is what I wanted. Yeah, so if this works, then yeah. See, wait, hold on. Actually, that's good enough. I'm not gonna complain. I honestly, I it gets the point across, and if I really needed to, I can. Yeah, I mean the highlighting is there. I'm just gonna use this, brother. Like honestly, dude, fuck. It's never gonna be perfect. Like it's not gonna. What I really want though is I want to be able to do this, like OneNote allows for. Just move your shit anywhere, so you're never constrained to like. If I ever need to move my content around, I can even like if I wanted to just stack it and make it look hella ugly, you can do that. It just lets you do that, and it's fast as fuck. And diagramming's like built in. If you really want to do it, it's a little jank, but you can do it. But I mean, it's native, isn't it? Where are the I thought you could. Oh yeah, draw. Yeah. So I mean, if you want to make graphs from your, you totally can. And this is my style because I was using this right, Epic Pen to draw and shit. It's like an overlay thing, which is cool. Like for presentations, it works, and it's great because it's in real time over the content. But if you want to save it, now you get to this thing where okay, now I'm back to images. Now I'm making screenshots again. Whereas in OneNote, you can do the same thing, and it lives on in your static documentation, meaning like the visual, the arrow thing. So I get they serve different purposes generally speaking, but at the end of the day, this would be the final kind of output, like trying to relate some concept or information to somebody else, or even just to my own future self. And so I think this solves that. So just resold myself on a tool that I was fucking using in the first place. Fucking A. This is pretty cool. I didn't know I could do this though. Like Miro charges you fucking $200 a year to do shit like this, and you don't get to own your data. So fucking stupid. What was I thinking, brother? What the fuck was I thinking? Look at that. Come on. Come on. I need to quit fucking around, honestly. I just need to quit fucking around. Fucking around with all these other. Bear is legit, but Bear is Mac OS only, and Mac is decent for some things. I can never use it as my primary, though. I got to get real work done. It's a toy. Now, if you don't use Windows and you just want basically everything I described here for the browser, I did find this other app, and it's just an extension, and it's on iOS, lives in the browser. This thing here, you can go to Clipboard History Pro. It's super highly reviewed. But it's literally doing the same thing. Everything that you copy, you can sync. My only issue here was that you can't choose. You can choose whether or not if you pay for Pro, it's only $2 a month. So I mean that's negligible in my opinion. I saw some people bitching about that. I'm like, dude, people bitch about anything. $2 a month. I mean, Jesus Christ, come on. It's not as good as $30 lifetime, but this is just a Windows app. So and you get iOS sync with this one. So for $2 a month, I mean, just fuck off. But anyway, my only issue with this one here, you can select whether or not you want to sync everything. So like if I'm on Windows and I'm also on Mac OS, I don't have to sync everything that I copy here over to my Mac OS instance. That's nice. And the same goes for my iOS. So there's an iOS app, and they can all sync and talk to each other. That's really, really nice. It's really cool. My issue though was, and maybe it's not that big of an issue, but it stores everything in the browser storage. There's no such, like, you can't get to the data otherwise. Kind of like Noti, where it's like only through their interface. You can do exports and whatnot. So I mean, I guess you can kind of, but like the actual container, the storage container is in the browser. So like if if I uninstalled Edge in my case, that would my browser storage is now gone, and then it continues to grow. So I don't know. I just don't know how that would affect browser performance down the road. I don't think I want to deal with that, but maybe I don't really understand how that works. Like, if it's browser storage, does it actually? You know what? It probably is still. It's still local somewhere, like in my app data somewhere. So what? You know what? I might turn it back on because it was. This is a really nice concept, honestly. And then I'm covered no matter where I go if I think about it. Because otherwise, I mean, I can back this up. I can back this up. I can back this data up, the database, to Dropbox, and I am. But if I ever want to get to it, realistically, I'm like, yeah, I know SQL. I can write SQL, but like, am I to get to my clips now? If I'm not on my Windows box, like if I'm traveling around somewhere, if I want to go fucking be a soy boy at Starbucks, I just take my Mac. I don't have my Windows machine because it is a laptop, but it's a Lenovo Legion, big old fucking honker. Like it's it's not a laptop that you take to Starbucks. i9 baby, 64 gig. Like, it's a fucking unit. I love this machine. I fucking love it. But you don't put it in your laptop bag and take it anywhere. It's for all intents and purposes, it's a desktop. You guys know what I'm saying. It's a badass motherfucker, but it ain't portable. It's like taking a jet turbine inside. They'll be like, "Sir, can you turn off your diesel unit? The exhaust is choking up the member," that kind of thing. So that's the downside. So really, realistically, I'm like, oh, we're gonna fucking write SQL. Like, then now I'm back to the whole thing of just making the whole process complicated. And so I think, actually, now that I think about it, thanks for the therapy, guys. Thanks for listening. But if I truly want to be covered and just escape from the bane of being let down by Node apps over and over, mostly because of my own hangups, but still, nonetheless, if I want to just do away with it, because I'm OCD, so the only way that I can feel good about it is just to fucking save everything and just say I'm okay with paying a little extra to make sure that my devices have plenty of storage. I'm actually totally cool with that trade-off. Therefore, I have now resold myself on. I'm just gonna do it and then see. We'll call it an experiment, right? But honestly, I'm gonna turn it back on. I'm sorry, baby. Will you take me back, baby? Please, baby. Hashtag, I'll never do it again. I think I was still on the trial, so I just need to reactivate that. Oh, and you can set, okay, so you can set it. Maybe I should do this, remove items older than a week. See, I'm like, I know I'm not going to come back and look at half of this shit, but I just can't bring myself to be like, yeah, after a week, just fucking nuke it, brother. But also, I act like I couldn't just save the data otherwise. Like, that's what I was doing before apps like this even existed. So I hate that about myself. But I just can't. It just kills me to say, yeah, after a week, just get rid of it. Why can't I say that? I don't know. I don't know. So 2 weeks. A month, maybe? Minutes, hours? That's calamity. Who would do that? What? Huh? Why? Huh? Oh, you're hot, babe. Can you get that one too? This is how they live in Cuba. Cuba. Honduras. Don't tell. I'm telling you, babe. Don't tell me. Honduras. Oh, come on. I'm live. The people are waiting with bated breath. You didn't do the locks. You gotta do the lock them in, brother. Yeah, otherwise the air gets out. Costing us money, babe. That's what seals it. Huh? Girl? 10 cents an hour? That's watts. Go lock the other ones if you didn't lock those too. Please. And thank you. Said with sass. You know I'm gonna check them too, babe. I won't forget. We're on the topic of note apps right now, so I'm finna leave a note. Look at that. Check later. Olivia window. That's called keyword. What do you think about that? I don't know. Look, just do it, babe. That way I don't have to worry about it. Oh, look, this is what I was telling you about. The isn't that cool? Look, you can use your phone. Yeah, you should go use it. Why do they tell me? I don't give a shit when people join. Why do they tell me? I don't. Who's Vidal? I don't know. I don't care. I know, but so like, well, it's annoying that it's even a default. And brother, so and so joined. Cool, great. If I cared, don't you think I would be talking to him in the first place? Like, people amass contacts. You think they want to keep up with all 9,000 of them? Exactly. Can you bring me one of those? Oh, what? Can you take this too? I need this refilled also with drugs. No, I got this. The trash can, aka my pocket, which ends up in the real trash can, the washing machine. Everybody knows this. Every man knows this. If you got a good woman in your life, you can say these things. Anyway, we'll get back to F sharp eventually at some point. Let me just huh? Okay, babe. Can you refill this for me? No, I'll do it. I gotta pee. I'll be right back, people. I gotta pee. All right. Okay, so I'm back with some sweats on. I feel better, brother. Brother. How do I wanted to. Where's your fucking site, man? Just use the same account. Yeah. Clipboard. How to activate Pro? I mean, you get Pro. I did, but where's the fucking link to. Oh, yeah, I think this is how. No, now I'm in a fucking loop. Yeah, this is what it looks like. Isn't that cool? So this is like the interface everywhere, or anywhere in the browser as a drop down, so you can share it. That's also the cool. I'm not gonna give y'all the whole thing. I know I just went on forever about that. All I want to do is yeah, I just want to activate this. Now that you know where I live and my email. And my card? I don't know about that, brother. What is I'm not actually ending it. I just want to make sure I'm not showing all my shit. Like, yeah, so I'm showing that. Let me just pay for this real quick. Nice fucking try, dude. Yeah, trying to fucking snake some freebies off me, brother. Nice fucking try, guy. Visa. Okay, it's been activated. All right, cool, brother, cool. All right, so now I gotta come back, fix this. Bounce that asshole, bounce that asshole. All right, and now we can get it popping. I done forgot where. Okay, I swear I'm gonna get started again, but I really do. Ooh, this is bugging me. What is your refund policy there, guy? I think I want to just not deal with it anymore. Honestly, nothing against them. I'm sure it's gonna get good. It's already a really nice value offering. It does a lot of cool stuff, but I don't have. It looks cool, like to implement all this stuff. Like wow, look at this, brother. Yeah, but in real life, it just I don't doesn't operate like this. I'm a quick search kind of like I need a this. I'm a this kind of guy. Give me a search bar and all my shit, like literally all my shit, and I'm happy. But this I will not do. I'm already building programs for other people. The context is constantly so like it just won't ever be valuable to me to like do something like this unless it's for a client and that's not even my artifact anyway. Like the output is often pretty neat and tidy like this, but that's for the customer after all the shit's already like there's so much shit underwriting it. I just don't live in that space, so that's all. That's really all there is to it. Email us, private terms. What you got for get a refund, bro? All purchases are non-refundable. Bastard. Yeah, I think I saw that or something, and I saw that before I bought it, honestly. So it's nothing against them. All right, whatever. We'll fucking move on.
This philosophy of consistency is replicated in many places in the language. There are very few one-off language keywords for specific features, but rather flexible and general-purpose ones that cover many different situations. For instance, the type keyword is used to define records, classes, interface.
Kidding me? It switched up on. I'm not sure. Every time I unplug this keyboard, it resets Alt, but it's the only button it does it to is the Alt. Yeah, there we go. Okay, there we go. Oh, weird. That's pretty weird. Shit, now I forgot where's my actual fucking, there it is. Basics. So Claude just basically taught me F sharp through all that stuff. So let me find where he's actually talking about something we didn't cover yet. We saw this. I feel like I have a really good understanding of what that's doing now. So this is nested scope in effect with implicit returns. Not the same as chaining, but that's more like dot chaining in other languages, so that's cool. I get that. String interpolation occurs with this $ value. So $, double quotes for strings, squiggle, so just like most other languages in that case, or in that respect. But I like that you can still just straight up add to it. Like you can still do operators against it. Wait, this would just be printf. Print function, the number plus 10 times 2 is. Oh, okay, that's the output that I get from this guy. So let me Yoda fire. That's a good size. That's what she said. All right, and this is okay. So in running that function, Alt Enter. Oh, Alt Enter. There we go. So I guess the output is a little weird, but there it is. Like that's what I was looking for. Like this is what the actual. Almost wish it would. This would be perfect for like a Jupyter notebook. Honestly, can I do poly? That's what this was, right? If I can do that, I will be happy as a pancake because that's really what I want to see. Um, Control Shift X, and then polyglot. Yeah. Ooh, what is this? Okay, I'm gonna resist, but no, that's really cool. Wait, what is this? Create polyglot. Adds a button to the activity bar to create a new. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yes. Yes. It's like my biggest thing. Just get me set up, brother, where I can fucking fire shit off. That's where I was spoiled by SQL and I never really realized it. But for all those years I wrote just as a, SQL developer, just writing against people's database. It was really like for me it went like going from that and then coming out into this world of programming, like programming proper programs, not just SQL queries, even though those are programs too, but you get what I'm saying. That I think that's the big like the thing that I miss the most is like I never I just never knew the struggle like getting the whole developer environment set up and in a manner that's repeatable and quick is such a fucking chore. So like SQL being a DSL to databases, especially like Microsoft SQL Server, you just SSMS is that's your dev environment. .SQL files are that's your .env, and your connection string, and then let's go. And you're just using everything. It was just life was so simple. And then I got all these fucking. You introduce all this choice, and now here we are, fucking going from note talking about notes and I get that's obviously my own choice, but I'm just saying, give a man choice, he's gonna weigh his options. Give a man one option, he's gonna use it. He ain't got no choice. Oh man. All right. Anyway, so okay. So but now there's a button. Apparently, Polygon launcher. Yeah. Yes. Create a new one. Dib. What's a dib? I guess it doesn't matter because I see them using IPY. So beautiful. Look at that. F fucking sharp, man. Oh, yes, at default. IPY F sharp. Um, Very cool. Suppress the prompt. Save the default output extension and language. Huh? And can I save this? Okay, cool. I just want to make sure it wouldn't go into some service. Yeah, nice. So this is good. So then, um chapter 3. All right. Yeah, a little input output. It's all a man really needs, man. F sharp, detecting kernels. Dot code. Execute above, below, split cell. Okay. Cut, change, edit, slide, tap. Yeah, line numbers. The only other thing that I want is I just want it side by side and then I'll be happy. Notebook, consolidated run button. Notebook, cell toolbar, click, hover. I don't know why. Almost everything, almost always should be hover if it's not too expensive. Just because fucking clicks, man. Whether to render the overview ruler. I don't know what that is, so I'm gonna say no. Pardon me. My gosh. Format a notebook on save. That's fine. Scrolling. When longer than the limit. Output text line limit. Oh, yeah, this can get a little crazy, but we'll say 10. Notebook, output, word wrap, whether the lines in the output should wrap. Good question. I'm going to say no. At least till I know where they're at. Sticky scroll enabled? No, I don't know what that is. Oh, yeah, I do know, and I don't want that on. Sticky, whether to use separate. Stack for each cell. It's a yes. I don't know that's. I'll probably appreciate that later. Yeah, okay, I'll leave that. Yeah, oh yeah. Insert final new line when enabled. Insert a final new line into the end of code cells when saving. Insert a final new line. When saving a notebook. Like an empty cell. Actually, I think I do want that. Just to kind of show, because when you share it, it's not always obvious to people that haven't worked with these. Where like they're like, what do I do with it? Ooh, boy, do I know that feeling. All right. Cell toolbar location on the right, brother. Where else can it be? On the left? Wow. Oh, which one? When the cell, where the cell toolbar should be shown. Yeah, on the left. Fucking make me go over there. Put it on the left. And cell focus indicator controls where the focus indicator is rendered, either along the cell. Yeah, I hate that shit. Oh my god, I hate that. Why the fuck would it be the gutter by default? That's such a so stupid to me. The focus is on the thing, but you highlight the bottom of the thing in a top-down oriented interface. I would think that it's whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, border is way better because that's border is like a spreadsheet. You know where your cursor is because the fucking border is highlighted or focused amongst the rest of the cell. Like it's just fucking common sense. But anyway. Oh no, I don't have to change all this elsewhere, do I? I was wondering, like, I will it sync? I'm like afraid to trust it to sync, so I'm just gonna redo all that. That happens all the time, and it sells hover. I think the only other I still didn't see the layout though. The output. Normally that is in like the view, but I'm used to working in Jupyter Lab. I don't know where it's at here. Outline. Toggle. Split editor. No. View. That's not for this though. That's switch slide type. Well, maybe it actually with it's already being split. Maybe that's not good. So I do kind of want it below. This helps having it on the left anyway. Honestly. So yeah, I think we're okay. But now, ooh, you can. This is so cool. So I guess my like show the where's the output? This should produce something because we are. This is an immediate calculation, so we should get the answer. Uh, Switch slide type. I forgot I disabled him. Why don't I see the fucking output, dude? That's all. That's all that's missing here. I feel like this should. Oh, you know what I should be using as the real echo chamber here. Try F sharp. I think I don't know if that's yeah. Fable. so sick. What? Fable is a compiler powered by Babel that makes F# a first-class citizen of the JavaScript ecosystem. Try F# in Bolero. That's what I was looking at using. It's kind of like the live view of. You can basically write web apps entirely in F#, front end, back end. It just compiles it to JavaScript, so it does a translation for you, but you don't have to leave. You have to do the context switch. So, yeah, this is what I want to do. SharpLab is AC. I don't care about that. Bolero, entirely the blah, 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 blah. Yeah, WebAssembly. I think Fable is more like if you wanted to. God damn it, back to Claude. Fable's more like if you wanted to use a JavaScript front end. Like if you're already comfortable with that, and you can just use your F# code as like a module, I believe. Whereas Bolero lets you define front end logic entirely in like you're never touching JavaScript. Am I understanding correctly that Fable Sharp is more for JS first to the front end, and Bolero is essentially the Phoenix live view of F#, where you write entire app in even front end. Okay, good. I mean, it came from another conversation with Claude, so I would hope that he would say that it sounds correct. Fable, yeah, compiles F# to JavaScript, lets you write front-end code in F# that gets converted to JavaScript, works well with the ecosystem tools. Yeah, so it's kind of like Rescript too, in that. Well, no, Rescript would be more Bolero. I guess whatever, it doesn't fucking matter. One is JS first. One is cover everything from the back end in my native tongue, which will be F#, which is what I want. Built on top of Blazor. Blazor. More pure. Okay, yeah, there you go. That's a good way to put it. More of a pure F# approach. Server-side rendering. That's what I want. That's honestly what I want. I could give a shit about everything else. It's just really the out of all this, it's the simplifying the state management, because there's no, at this point now with what the browser can do with transition, like there's just no point in managing your state on the front end. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't care how fancy and cool, and they are. I mean, there's some very cool. They have cool ideas, but you're just fucking around with state. It's all a way to manage state. Solid, Svelte kit, Nuxt, all that shit. You're handling it from the front end first, and it's just, it doesn't matter how they talk about it, how they frame it, or put sugar on it. You're still, at the end of the day, it's redundant, because you have to do things twice. They make it seem like you don't, but you do when you do this front end first approach to state management. They try to abstract that away, but you're still, yeah, it's too fucking. And then you got things like Svelte. I'm gonna pick on them because they lured me in, got me all excited, and then they fucking, hey, Svelte 5, brother, changing the whole fucking API. Their whole thing was, oh, we're terse, we're succinct, we're not verbose like them other platforms. And now look at fucking Svelte 5. Get the fuck out of here. Shut up. Done with JS, brother. They can't help themselves. Now they just are turning it into React Server Components or is PHP. They've had that for decades. Although I tried PHP, that has its own issues. But yeah, I mean it's server side rendering. That's what you're doing. It's state management on the server. But it's so fucking complicated because they're shoehorning it in. Or even worse, they just say, you know what? They just give everybody the big fuck you and then put out a new API and hey, you're going to do it our way. But honestly, the real way that they're doing it is if you use Vercel, it's not a big fuck you because they can handle all the transpilation in the background. Like if you're using an older version, they can just do so much more if you're on their platform. Isn't that convenient? But if you try to do it anywhere else, you're effectively rewriting your logic now because they're moving shit around. So it just fuck off. Like, yeah. I have done a complete 180 in terms of my stance. I was like, you know what? Just fucking write JavaScript. Like it's ubiquitous. It's everywhere. Just stop fucking fighting it. But the issue is, even if you take that approach, you can't stand it. There's like you're standing on quicksand everywhere you go, everywhere you look, anything you pick, even the great React, even Vue to some degree, which is but easily the most stable. Like that's the best option. Let's be clear. In terms of like a major framework. Now, if you're more pragmatic, you could say if you know JavaScript proper and web, then you're a little more protected because then you can have like a more of a modular stack. Like, okay, just use Hono, no dependencies. Hono's badass, and then you can kind of get away from a lot of that stuff and just react dynamically to the changes. But look. I'll show you this. Because I've been working on my company's website, right? And the new website, which I've been doing in Astro, which is Astro's been awesome. I really like Astro. It's really cool. But it's still JavaScript. Like, like it's still, well, I shouldn't even say JavaScript. It's still just angle brackets. I'm like, God damn, like even JavaScript and the frameworks and whatnot, they're like, look, brother, we make it easy. I'm like, yeah, but you still gotta look at this ugly fucking disgusting code. Like it doesn't matter how easy you make working with or generating the angle brackets. Like if I still gotta look at it, it's not good enough. I'm like, man, brother, I come from SQL. That's a beautiful language to look at. Beautiful. Yeah, it can get ugly, but I mean, like, generally speaking, you don't have a lot of this, like, fucking just ugly characters fucking everything up. You know what I mean? Like, but you don't have that luxury with, when you're building websites. So, like, look at the file tree here, dude. Like, it's nice that you can break it out, but like these are just the components. This is just the components. Oh wait, not that, sorry. Just the components, all that shit. And these are broken out into, these aren't even, the full tree. I won't do that to you, but look at this, like, and these are all legitimate behaviors that I have to account for, but like, look at all these fucking files. Like, I hate it. Look at this. Look at this. I hate this shit. Man, I hate it, dude. I learned very quickly. I do not want to be no fucking like. Well, I should say this. I want to play in the front end. I want to be full stack, and I am. I don't want to do it this way anymore, though. I thought, yeah, I was really excited. I like Astro. It's cool. Don't get it twisted. I'm just saying, generally speaking, it's not Astro. It's just like HTML in general, working with HTML first. It sounds nice when they pitch it that way, right? It sounds nice to say we're web first, HTML first. You know, we're the web, the way the web was supposed to be. Okay, great. That's cool. And look, you can make pretty things go up on the screen, and that's great. And it's been as enjoyable as it could be to create something like this, given the technology. Like, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but like Astro is made. You know, when you refer to something and it's like, look, we made the best we could. We made lemonade, basically. Like, life gave us lemons, you make lemonade, right? You're making the best out of the cards that you dealt. You did the best you could with what you got. That kind of a thing. Astro did that for me, so thanks, Astro. And look, I mean, you look, it's pretty cool, right? There's some cool stuff, dynamic stuff, and I was fucking with my boss because we're just started this podcast, and it's on LinkedIn, and it's like he's getting feedback, and we're getting the word out, but like we don't always have guests every week, and so every time that we don't have a guest, I just come up with a different kind of concept to say that we had no guest. So this week's guest, the void, just an empty chair. Like, this would normally be, whoever the guest was on the podcast. The week before that, air. Oh shoot. Uh, but then I'm highlighting the actual guest. Like, she's gonna be on next. This nice lady here. Um, but anyway, so you get the picture. Like, you can build something very cool, and that's awesome. Like, the web is awesome. But I want to fucking write. Like, look at that, and then you look at this, and you're like, fuck. Even if I abstract all this into MDX or fucking front matter or YAML or components or whatever, like, at some point somewhere, you have to fucking write these fucking angly fucks. You still have to write it, and I don't want to do that. And so anyway, that's why I came looking for actually. But you know what really got me here? Um, what really set me off and got me on this, I'll say, this journey. I'm so happy I found F sharp. I already know it's going to be legit because it just speaks to me. But yeah, what got me here was this. Look at this, Elm UI. This is what I saw, because I was like, man, is there a way to just? I just want to describe, like, basically it's true declarative. Like, they say React is declarative. Yeah, kind of. You're still writing JSX, and it's ugly as fuck. And you're still writing fucking pokey brackets and, like, React. JSX. Introducing JSX. I mean, look at any of it. Even the just hello world. Everything has, you can't get away from it. This is basically everywhere, right? And then normally they're no, well, not that, the pokey, yeah, like the return const this return HTML, and that's your markup. Actually, trying to think of where I saw. Oh, this is the old one. Where did I see? Wait, this is the old one or the new? This is the old one. Looks old. No, no, this is the new one. The new React site, React Dev. Oh, that's this. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So there you go. Write components with code and markup. Great. Not. Look at that. You still, dude. Why do I have to do this? Section at H2. It's very declarative, but it's fucking ugly. And then this whole thing, the fucking fat arrow. That's just them jacking off. Like, you never needed to do that. The whole lambda thing, whatever, man. Like, there's just so much they don't tell you. They're lying to you. Like TypeScript. There's no fucking types. Bullshit, dude. It ain't types. It's a linter. Like, it doesn't exist. Why torture yourself? Like, it's insane. Anyway, you come to these realizations, and inevitably, if you're smart, you land on, okay, I really need to learn a proper language then. Instead of doing this. And so then Pug. Oh, whoops. Pug.js. Oh, look at the little, it's so cute. It's a little guy. I just want to, look at that one. He's so stinking cute. Oh my gosh. Oh, little guy. Look at these. They are freaking cute, man. Oh my gosh. I gotta look at the little rolls. Oh man, come on. Fucking A. Anyway, Pug.js is what I meant too. And so next, wait. There's always this kind of post. What happened to nothing? What do you mean? The people are still using this shit like crazy. What? Pug is fine. Pug is, this person's an idiot. What happened to Pug? I've been using Pug. This was 2 years ago even. Pug is still alive and kicking. I'm not sure what this is about. But when I went to look at it yesterday, it looks like it's no longer in active development. This has been a thing, and I've fallen victim to this too, but you can't just go look. You can't just go look at a repo the activity like here. You can't just come. This is what I was doing for a while. When you pop in, you look here, you're like, oh God, nothing, anything more than 6 months, basically, you're like, this fucking project's dead. That's not oftentimes not what that means, for one. And I think a better way to handle this, honestly, what I've learned, go to issues if you really want to dig into it. If there's hella bugs, then okay, move on. If there's not a lot of bugs or not a lot of open PRs, like unmerged PRs that aren't getting addressed, you can look, it's a little more nuanced is all I'm saying. So if you continuously think, it's so hard to find something that's maintained, you're probably passing over a lot of really good libraries, because a lot of it is overstated. Like, yeah, shit changes, but the browser itself doesn't change that often, the standards, and it's well announced. Like, if you really are serious and you're not just lying to yourself about what you want to sit down and be disciplined and use something to write something, that kind of a thing, trust me, I know. Just read some, dig a little more, because oftentimes that's not a good indicator if you just come and look at the dates. And I'm just saying that from experience, because I've passed over a lot of good projects that are really and truly, like Elm, Yeah, it hadn't been changed much, but it still fucking works. That doesn't mean it's not stable. That's actually a good thing. But you do have to still do the homework and find out, okay, is the community still there? Are people actually still using it? Maybe there's discussions going on somewhere else. Maybe there's a separate project. There could be some sub project inside of this repo that is getting updated that's not really reflected here for whatever reason. You just don't know. Like, so you're gonna have to do a little bit of legwork. If you're lazy and you just do this kind of glossy once over, you're probably gonna miss out on a lot of gems. Is all I'm saying. Because obviously people are building stuff, and you don't want to go on for too long doing the research. Death by research. Anyway, that being said, Pug was the next thing that I saw. I was like, okay, this has legs. Like they could deal with this. Like it's a templating language. It lets you do some. It's effectively like for websites. You can do a little more with it, but for what I was trying to get away from, just writing content like front end stuff, marketing pages, landing pages, blogs, stuff like that. It's perfect because it's not HTML and it has some logic. Wait, but I thought maybe I'm thinking of the wrong one. I thought this was the one that I was thinking of. Uh, didn't have tags at all. Oh no, yeah, this is yeah P. That's what I was thinking. So what is this? What is this? Why is this here? Oh, it's just showing you what it's. Yeah. Okay, that's right. It's showing you what it's doing under the hood. Yeah. So this is nice. Like it's. Yeah, I mean, you still got to write the JavaScript, but that's fine. Like that's just code. That's your logic. But at least for your templating, which would be this part, or sorry, this part, you can just go P, and that's your P tag, and you don't have to do this bullshit here or the quotes. Also fucking annoying in other template languages. So that's really nice. Like that's show me a yeah, here we go. Something. Yeah, so this is a much better representation of like this is awesome. There's your dog type, you got your shape. This would normally be this. I mean, my god, man. And all of this, like my site, all of this here in between the tags would be um like imagine this just multiplied by 1,000. These are basically what this would effectively be this right here, or even just this, right? Like they frameworks go overboard and make everything a fucking component. So now it's like, okay, cool, it's modular, you can build it like Lego blocks, but now I got a fucking file for everything. I got a fucking file for every widget and idget and skidget. Like, fuck, dude. At some point, it would just be quicker to just fucking know a language and be able to write it, something terse like this or F sharp or Elm. So anyway, so I came across Pug, and Pug is nice, honestly. I mean, you could if all you needed to do was write websites, I could end on Pug and just be happy. Honestly, it's not that bad, and you can be very productive. But I knew that the end goal was plugging into the Azure ecosystem, working with all that shit. So I kept going. But from a markup perspective, this is nice, and what I like to see, because obviously we still follow the indentation paradigm here. Body H1 without the brackets. Sick, right? So yeah. So, but anyway, I want to go back here. Why? I think this person is just confused. Probably that's what that is. But Okay, I was looking for that. I was like, what's going on? Pug is npm, yeah, with a maintainer paid by Tidelifts. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. That's cool. It has literally enterprise support. Do you know any other HTML templating which has enterprise support? Source? Do you have any reference to what you're saying, the last commit in the project? But you see, like, this is me, and this is a terrible place to be. Like, still just ever searching. You want everything to be lined up, the stars to be aligned. Oh, yes. You want everything to say yes. Put your time into learning this. You can feel safe. Go build your. You probably don't even have an idea of what you want to build, but in your head, you do. Some kind of esoteric idea of it. Yes, go use this library. It's safe. It's dynamic. It's easy. Or it's simple, but it can handle complex things. It's powerful. You know, all the good stuff, none of the bad stuff. You want all these assurances, and you're just not gonna fucking get them. It's a terrible place to be. So don't be like that. But yeah, just you have to do a little bit of legwork, buddy. It's all right, brother. Or just fucking bite the bullet and write React. Those are your choices. Not really, just go use Vue. But yeah, I mean, you're just gonna have to do it. That's what I learned, buddy. But yeah, anyway, there's an appreciation that I have now for the back end. But yeah, what? Yeah, so Pug is not dead. Jade died, but Jade became Pug, so I mean, it didn't really die. Yeah, so who knows? But it's literally on the website, pugjs.org. That's funny. See, and like the migration, it's probably a different repo. It could be a new. Not everybody cares to perpetuate the repo just for the GitHub star. Like these people are actually creating stuff. It's a tool. Fuck your GitHub stars. If it's easier and more pragmatic to make a new repo, that's what's gonna happen. And you know, fuck your feelings about whether it looks like it's being updated. Just fuck off, man. Do a little bit of homework. That's the play here, and it's the right play. Note that work must be Pug related. We don't accept general development work. Huh? Oh, our contracting price is $200 an hour, $1,500 a day. That's literally our consultancies. That's our pricing. Anyway, it's so weird. Like, there's no handbook on it. I think everyone just looks like much like we did. Like, what are y'all charging? And that's just kind of what the number ended up being. All around, everywhere I've gone, I've worked at small ERP software companies, bigger ones, and now we are a small company, but we serve big, like literally billion-dollar industries. Like BDO is a huge accounting firm, but one of our customers, billion-dollar organization, but this is the rate. Like it just doesn't matter like what mid-sized company, SMB, SMC, enterprise, right around. Consulting rates still right around that. So yeah, if you're going freelance, don't shortchange yourself, or at least if you are going to do it strategically and understand that this is about the cost. If you're going to go to a big player or anybody that is not anybody that you would think of as competition that is established, anyone that like you obviously you don't know what's going on behind under the hood, but if you go anywhere, if you're looking at your competition, you want to build websites and you want to go Google 15 other, well-established consultancies that have websites, so you have no way of knowing what goes on at that company behind the website, right? But if it looks legit, that's what I'm saying. He's like, those kinds of companies they all charge about that. So if you want to get some market share locally, there's really good money to be made doing that, by the way. But and you don't have to learn a whole lot of stuff. Like just learn how to make websites. Just go learn Pug, and then you can go fuck shit up, and go charge 120. And you're coming in solid. You're like, your quotes are going to be very attractive. Charge 100. Charge 75. Like, I don't know, but just know the value that you're giving, what you're getting, You know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying? If you know what you're up against, then the delivery can accommodate and represent the value offering better. You don't ever want to come across as like, please, I'll do it for. I don't know. You tell me, brother. Like, no one wants to hear that. What? What do you mean? What's your price, motherfucker? I mean, do it. You tell me. I just won't respond. So no, but yeah, know your market. But that's really what it is. Straight up, I'm telling you right now. I went through this. I did the research. That's what it is. Almost everywhere across. That's just kind of what it is. It's kind of weird. Anyway, bum. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so from Pug, I jumped to. There were some really cool ones. Pug is easily the best option though because it's so supported and it's terse to make HTML not suck. I would say the other option that's probably really well known that you can feel comfortable with, HTMX, obviously, but that's a little bit different because, well, first of all, this isn't in the conversation. Never mind, because this is literally HTML, and that's what it's supposed to be. But what I meant was Hyperscript, its sister library. I thought it had. Maybe it's at the bottom here. Hyper. The problem is people call it. There's so many hyperscripts, like so you got to know what context you're asking for it in. Let me just save this because yeah, hyperscript. So they have their own, but there's like a lot of them. So make sure that you're looking up the right one. But script language for doing the front end web, divine and make it easy to respond to. Yeah, so this is more like Alpine event handling. So you could use this alongside HTMX, but it's not. This never mind. This is not. But this isn't a templating language, so never mind. But another one that you should not use, but was cool because this one died, I believe. But I think this was Twitter's Hogan. They might still use it. I don't know, but it seems really neat. Like, look at this. But this is what I'm saying. You could still use this. Like, you just drop it in a script tag. You can use it. I mean, if it works, it works. Like I didn't get that far, but it's really neat because it's just template literals. So I mean, it's just JavaScript in a more terse way, but you can literally drop it anywhere, right? So you just put in the script tag, kind of like Vue. I guess you could just write Vue too, but yeah, the idea was like drop it in. This would be more like progressive enhancement, I guess. You have an old website where somebody wants to enhance their website, but they don't want a total rewrite. You could come drop something like Vue could do this, Hogan, but I probably don't use Hogan, but maybe, I don't know. Anything that can come in on a script tag though, because that's just simple addition to the header or to the head section of the web page, and then you can just use it. No crazy build step. But anyway, I saw this one, pretty cool. Tweet, you know. But the Pug does the same thing. Like you can do the same thing, kind of stuff in Pug. But then I saw Mithril. Mithril was cool, and Mithril is actually like people are still using this, and it really, it's like it's an answer to, it's a replacement for React. Like you wouldn't use it with React. Maybe you could, but you don't need to. Like it's its own thing. It's kind of like Solid.js. You just don't hear about it as much, maybe, but it's pretty popular. But you can do like it's really more like a jQuery. So you can do everything with it, logic, templating. But look at this, pretty cool, huh? Var root document body, so it's a JavaScript first, but m.mount, and then you're, I guess you're still, it's kind of like pug inside strings, so maybe okay, maybe not. It doesn't look as cool, but it's a complete option for front end stuff. Okay, so I saw this one, and then there was a lot of there's another what's the other one? EJS, I think. Yeah, I think this one's more. This would be like in parallel with Mithril, so like but this one's also current. Like you could still use this. A lot of people do use this 7.8. But see, like you don't really have a lot of updates here, but it's still getting a ton of use. But it's just a way to render markup. Um, but I didn't like this because again, pokey brackets. Like just stop fuck with the fucking pokey brackets. And then I found there was one called Squirrel, I think, Squirrel JS or some shit. Squirrely, yeah, Squirrel. I guess this is a compiler, so it's a little bit different. But well, no, this is different. This is like Squirrel programming language. What the fuck? Duh player. What is this? Squirrel. Support Squirrel. Squirrel Lang? What the hell? Download. Oh, this one for a while. 2022. Bitcoin. Oh, hell no, brother. Let me get out of here. I don't fuck around with them Web3 guys. All right, so anyway, this is what I meant. Squirrely. Yeah. But this one, I don't know. Yeah, way too brackety, and that's way too much, going on. So forget that. Nope. You might as well fucking just write JavaScript. I mean, go with a big framework at that point. You know what I mean? So, but it's probably like a passion project. I don't fucking know, but I'm not gonna use it. And then from here, there was what was the other player? The Um, there was one more that was like pretty viable. Well, there's so there's MDX. MDX is cool, but it's Acura. But y'all know MDX. I mean, that's like there. Oh, there it is, right there. This is like Markdown first. Honestly, this is probably the best option because I didn't know this at the time. I would have used this, but like you can use this in Astro, so this is totally approachable. But you can just write Markdown. Markdown is so simple. And so if you have a bunch of components already, this is probably the best option because you can just import them in the front matter, write Markdown for your markup, and then just pull in the only pokey brackets you got to write is for your components that already exist, hopefully, and for the interpolation. But pretty cool. Like if you know SQL, like the position that I was in maybe a year ago, and you just want to have a way to have a website, a really good option. I mean, MDX is cool. This is definitely cool because you don't have to use React. I thought you did initially, but yeah, see React, Vue. I know they support Svelte, Docusaurus, Next. So I mean, they're everywhere now. That's awesome. That's cool. But anyway, what's it called? Evidence.dev. They have a platform, but you can also do it just it's totally open source too, so you can build your own. You don't have to use their platform, but it's SQL first, so they have a really cool approach because it's Svelte under the hood. So I mean, anywhere that Svelte can go, this can go. which is basically everywhere because it compiles to just straight up JavaScript. But it's cool because they give you a easy way to just write SQL inside this little like card system here. But the neat part about it is on the actual, I don't know if they show it. If you ever use a Jupyter notebook, it gives you that, but in JavaScript, and not in a annoying ass shitty way like what's it called, observable JS. Those guys really fucked the pooch on that. That was such a frustrating platform. I mean, it's still around. I know it's very popular, but it wasn't for me. But it was so annoying how they just all of it. I just think they really fucked that one up. But I know it's very popular. But yeah, this is a good alternative if you're like a SQL first person looking to go web. This would be a great place to. You can do a whole lot. Any CRUD app, data visualization. You're pretty solid. You can kind of see it there. You're just writing in a code block SQL, and then it gets turned into a component based off of your declaration. So pretty sick. This is a great idea. This is an awesome platform. But the shitty thing about this too, like you get back to this whole thing, it's built on top of Svelte, who just had this change, right? So it's like it's gonna be wonky. So you get in here and it looks great, and it is like, yeah, you can get a little something up, but the second you need to do something a little bit more custom, you're like, well, we don't support that yet, and in the runtime, oh, but Svelte 5 changed this, so but we got this script, brother. But if you want to change it over, and it's just over and over again, dude. This endless fucking look at this man. Look at the intensity. It's like, there's always this kind of, I feel like it's a good representative, and I'm not shitting on this awesome project, but I'm just saying, generally speaking, there's always this kind of fear and this discomfort working with JavaScript frameworks because you just never, you can't rely on them. I really feel like that. I see the fear in this man's eyes. You're confident, you know it works, but you're like, yeah, at any given moment, brother. My product is built on top of like 19,000 libraries, so it's a little worrisome. I don't want to fuck with that. There's no point. You don't have to do that. Anyway, so now we get to Elm. So now look at Elm. Look at this. This is absolutely beautiful. How old is this page? Anyway, this isn't going anywhere because people love this, and it's, even if, you can have the argument, is it, should you use it, should you not? You can definitely still use it. Absolutely. Oh, sick. Oh, they got a little for $30. God damn, brother. Huh. Now I'm over here breathing. Maybe I do want to do this. Anyway, let me just show it to y'all first. Created with Elm Static. Looks like a reasonable guy you can trust. Wait. Where's the real, let me just show you the, not this. Elm UI example. Here we go. Old Barn. So you probably seen a million of these like layout systems, right? But if you look at the, not this. Where's the fucking, here we go. Yeah, I mean this works. But see, just again, the indentation, no pokey brackets, but you also get a way to like, okay, I want a box that makes an HTML element, and the HTML element will be called A. Okay, and then you say the box is equal to element. It's centered. Yeah, so it, it's a way to represent the positioning on the web page, which is always a pain in the ass. Like going back to I don't know if I closed it or not, but any website, like if you're trying to, like I'm trying to build that website right now. I'm almost done, but I mean like there are some like if you just wanted to take some piece of it, if you just wanted to take this fucking I'm sure everyone's had this feeling where it's like all I want to do is be able to take what's already there, and I want this thing. I just want to move it right there, brother. That's it. That's all I want to fucking do. I just want to move that square, that fucking image. I just want it right here. And then you end up fucking in a framework, and you're learning to technology, but all you're trying to do is get it over there. That kind of a thing. So I mean, that's what. If it wasn't clear what was like what the point is of LMUI, that descriptive system, if you've never gotten too deep into it, that's what it solves basically. It gives you a way to easily just define via text, because I used to think that like graphical builders were the answer. But those, trust me, don't do it. I don't care how drag and droppy and cool you think it is. Don't. No. You will regret it. The code that those things generate, and they'll be like, oh, it generates beautiful code. It's just somebody wrote it. But that's not saying much. Even if somebody wrote it, it's going to be ugly as fuck. I already showed you. You can have a beautiful website. It doesn't matter if you didn't write it. If you specifically didn't write it in the last hour, it's shit code. It sucks because the context is gone now. You don't understand it. You now have to sift back through it. You got some kind of abstraction you have to understand the cascading of the CS, like all that stuff fucking sucks. This is why this is a win. So whatever worry or concern you have about like, oh, is this still being updated, brother? Is your shit being updated? Your shit sucks too, all right? It does. If you've even taken the time to build something yet, motherfucker. Anyway, I digress. The point is, this is very cool. And so this is what I was after. And so I saw this and I was like, oh, but it's old and it's still not back end. And so then I went down Rust. Like, I'm still going to learn Rust. I think Rust is very cool. I avoided it for a long time. I shouldn't have. I just let I don't know, for some reason I was so attached to Go because I did like one thing in Go and it worked. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to stick with you, brother. But I didn't realize just how fucking fucked Go is. Like, don't get it wrong. You can build whatever in whatever, but it's pretty ugly. And so there's an appreciation that I have. I've gone full circle. I used to think, yes, whatever, bro, syntax doesn't matter. It's all about the build system. Nah, build system doesn't matter, bro. It's all about the ecosystem. The ecosystem doesn't matter, bro. It's all about the fucking performance. Okay, the performance doesn't matter, brother. But now I'm on, okay, what I think matters is actually the fucking syntax. But I'm talking to y'all from a perspective of like single dev. I'm one guy writing a platform effectively, and I like it that way. I like the pressure of that. I like the challenge of that. I'm privileged. I'm blessed to be in that position. But I don't want all these fucking components. I don't need that. That's for like a big team that, multiple people. They got a bunch of fucking diagrams. Okay, these components go over here. This is what that means. This prefix is for that, man, that page and that domain and that brand. Fuck all that, dude. I need something I can create dynamically and it makes sense. And when I come back to it, it makes sense across multiple customers because the context is always going to change across customer. It's always going to be customer centric relative to their data. So it needs to be. I need something that can be domain specific, but not a DSL in the traditional sense where you're talking about like SQL as a DSL to databases. You don't write it anywhere else. It doesn't mean anything anywhere else, but it's just happens that everyone needs a database, so it's very important DSL. But in my case, what I'm saying, what I needed is exactly what I think the only ones that I've found that allow for this that I've seen are like Elm would be an example on the front end where you can literally do stuff like this, where you just define, like, this is just an abstraction to, let the human position elements on the page, so you can do the mapping one time to the DOM and then represent it in a way that we understand it on a grid, and they're like, over here, pixel left, pixel right, right side, box top right, kind of a thing. But yeah, effectively you land on functional programming languages because that's what, like, ultimately the ultimate best solution that I've seen to my problem is F#, and this whole F# units of measure effectively is what I mean. This is effectively what it is. So it lets you. This is that zero cost overhead dev abstraction I was telling you about that gets pulled away once you compile, which is perfect. That's what you want. But you can, based off the context, so effectively this would be confined to the repo, to the project. You can define these measurements, and so all of your types, you don't have these like just kind of generic arrays and lists and relation. No, it's like now you have units of measure, so you can relate it. The code can represent like what the customer stocks stuff in, like gallons and ounces and pounds and stuff that we actually use in the real world. Now the code can read exactly like the real world, and now it's like you're just reading a set of instructions against the real world. So that's the fucking solution. This is actually the solution, and that's what. If we take it a step further, that's what Bolero F#. That's what this is. So we're gonna get here eventually, as I chatter about out into the ether. But yeah, we're getting here. But that's what they did. I mean, that's what this is. Client side. So now you get all of that full stack. It's an F#. Look at that. Oh, that is beautiful, man. That is beautiful. Oh, and yeah, and they carried forward the Elmish as a library. It's like the Elm UI that we just saw, so you get all of that. I'm actually excited for it. Alternatively, use HTML files with template. So it's cool that you get, as an alternative, you can go pokey if you really need something custom that isn't handled. But the fact that you can just do this instead, I can't copy it for some reason, but dude, look at that. Oh man, it's way better. Then server, let service get greeting fun. Who? Invoke server side code. This is basically what React server components are. But now we're coming at it from the back end, so we don't have to manage state from the front side. It's just all reactive, just like Phoenix Live View. Like you have functions that handle what to do based off events that come from the front end. You run the functions on the back end, and you just return the HTML with the new values in it. You're only handling it in one spot. It's beautiful, man. All you would think, if you looked at it through the lens of the JavaScript frameworks the way that I did when I was introduced to it 2 years ago, 2022, or yeah, about 3 years ago, and you get caught up in this JavaScript hype, JavaScript framework hype, you would think that you got to move heaven and earth just to write a fucking app, and you don't. And it's like, man. The amount of rigmarole that like goes into some of this stuff is just insane, and it's already been solved. Like I don't know why all the jerking off goes around the new frame. Like it's just, I guess I do get it in a sense. It's exciting. Like it's marketing, and generally there is some kind of, even I get it. It's open source. You're not paying, but in some form or fashion, that framework that is, whatever your favorite framework is, it's pushing some kind of agenda, some kind of larger thing that is making somebody or an organization somewhere money. The shit just isn't going to happen out of the goodness of people's hearts. Like, just stop thinking that. You know what I mean? That's why projects get abandoned. If that was the case, people would just support their projects forever because everything is their passion project, right? And that's just, of course, we're going to maintain it for life, brother. No, of course not. So go with the pragmatic thing. Whatever you feel that is, probably do that. And it's been solved. And it's, if you're a hobbyist and you want to fuck off and do this, kind of like I am doing right now, fine. But, just understand what you're getting yourself into if you go and fucking use something like this fucking bullshit, and then it changes every year. Oh, guys, we realized that all the shit that we said to Evan from Vue was, we actually realized that he was right about everything, and now we just look like Vue. And you got to write all your shit. That's basically that's what you get if you go and use something like this. Svelte not the only one. They're just a good example. Yeah, they used to brag, oh, we're not like the other guys. And so then you get Svelte 4 compared to Svelte 5. Look at that. This is a cool site. So cool that people get this stuff up. But you can just see oh man, what is this? Component Party. Hell yeah, brother. It's an awesome site. Let me go and bookmark that. Bucko. Of course, I got to save it in every place known to man, because I'm OCD. But man, this is really cool. But yeah, look at that update state. Oh, this is sick. What a great idea. Wow, this is actually amazing. Let me pin this. Dude, yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, yeah, I mean, now it's got to change. This isn't really good. This one is, yeah. So easy. Script tag, that didn't change, obviously, but instead of the very, like, this is what they used to brag about. Oh, it's very, it's terse. It's reactive. We just know, brother. Now you got to do this. Now you just got to write PHP in JavaScript with the little $ state. $ state, really? Fuck you. Come on. And it's not like it's so terrible, but the thing that's terrible about it is you were telling people that this was all good, right? For 2-3 years. Or ever since Sapper, so maybe a little bit longer. You're telling everybody and you're marketing around the fact that this is fine. That's what you're saying. That's what you said. And a lot of people believed you, and they went and wrote stuff. And yeah, it works. I'm not saying they're fucking stealing from people, but my point is, in a given moment, they're trusting that you're saying this is totally fine, and because you want to win, you're like, yeah, it's totally fine. And for most people, they just believe you, and then they build their app, it gets bigger, And then suddenly you're like, well, actually, there's a lot of problems, and so we're gonna have to change it to this now. Huh? Yeah. So if you want updates, you're gonna have to do it like this now for all the. Yeah. Sorry. Wait. But we have this script. Oh, okay. Let me just run that script against my repo. What? No. It'll add comments where you need to update for the edge cases. What? Fuck you. No. That's crazy. But then, you got to do something. I'm just saying. That's the general exchange that you have to go through with basically any JavaScript option, any framework. So yeah, if you go to the repo, it says last updated today, 4 hours ago. What that mean? That's not a good thing necessarily. Just like being last updated 4 years ago isn't inherently a bad thing. So a very long-winded way of making my point. You see what I'm saying, brother? You got to do your homework, and you got to make sure, like, But that's why I think, honestly, for the front end, this is why what I've realized after going through all this rigmarole, you really are incurring huge technical debt, no matter how you slice it, no matter how good the API is, simply because you don't control it and they can just go and change their mind. So I think for the markup, you gotta if you are transforming, and I clearly, like I said, I don't want to write HTML, raw HTML. I don't think anybody does. So you're already acknowledging that you got to have one transformation step for the markup. And I think you should, because you're gonna fuck up the HTML if you do it by hand. Somewhere, as you get, your website gets bigger, your markup gets bigger, apps get bigger. So there's a general acceptance that there's going to be at least one transform, but I think you should leave it at that, and the transform should be from your native language that manages your database, whatever that is on the back end. That needs to be the same thing that transforms the HTML. So in this case, F#. The thing that you do to talk to your database, or really I should say the thing that you use to build your web server in that case. So F#. You want the same language controlling that in your database calls and the markup, which is what Phoenix Live View is like. That's what Laravel. Laravel. That's why those are such great solutions. You manage state, your web server, your database calls, and your transforms to your markup, all from the same place. Limit complexity. It's not that crazy once you kind of just think about it. You know what I mean? You don't need all these fucking graphs, diagrams. It's not that serious. But if you overthink it, or if you're naive, you might think that it is that serious. And you end up having to do shit like whole websites to all these fucking frameworks to fucking write markup, brother. Crazy. Fucking nuts. Anyway, yeah, that's why it's bad. That's why it's bad. Oh yeah. My point was, they'll until they're blue in the face tell you this is great until it's not, and then suddenly it's this. Oh, whoops, whoopsie. Not sure what happened. And then finally, free at last. We leverage F#, Elmish, .NET Core, and this is not perfect, right? We understand this, but still, this is stable. You do want things that are supported. You want it declarative. Be honest with yourself about the performance aspects of it too. That's where I was like, man, I got to do it in Rust because I'm a million use. Like, come on. Even if you wrote it in fucking Scratch, like, it'd probably be fast enough for your 5 users. Like, you don't even have anything yet. You can rewrite it later, motherfucker. But just that's always been my big thing. Gotta get something up and out. So that's why I just picked Astro, and Astro's been awesome to just get the site up. Like you just got to get something up in the air so you can remain employed and people can see that you can actually deliver, So definitely just bite the bullet for sure. Don't hang your hat on doing nothing. Don't do that. But I would say, like, just like me, like on your weekends and time like this, spend it learning something like this versus something like, fucking Svelte. Don't do that to yourself. That's just my advice. That's all. If you love Svelte, you want to go jack off rich, then go for it, brother. But I would advise that you not just admire from afar, admire the man's work, but don't use his framework. Don't use any man's framework. Use a programming language if you're gonna, go in on a compiler, building your markup, and don't build to JavaScript. Build to web assets. You understand? Like just limit the amount of transforms that you're doing. That's the smartest thing that you can do. And then and keep good notes, or just be like me and just get something that captures literally everything. No, don't be like me, but you get what I'm saying. Oh man, is anybody still in here? Been talking for a hot minute. I got one loyal viewer. I appreciate you, brother or sister. Man, it's probably me logged in on some machine. uh, Now I'm all tired out, dehydrated, and hungry. Kind of horny too, but I think. Oh, UMX. What is that? What is the other file? There's FSX. FSX. Oh, this is the what? Let me close this one. This is not the same, right? This is been. Nope, that's not what I want. FSI was the other one. Yeah, this is different. Okay, so cool. So what is UMX? Oh, is this diagramming? Oh, these UMX is the if you write a package for. That must be what that means. Is that what gets distributed? I assume, probably. Yeah, I guess it has to be because that's the extension here for Okay. I'm out of energy, man. I think I want to play some Halo. Dome some folks. No, what I really would like to, because obviously we did this kind of in a roundabout way, but I mean this. I understand the language already. That's like a cocky thing to say, but I've already learned the different paradigms. So, like, if you understand how to define scope, basically, and do output and read files, like, basically, outside of that, you're going to be using the primitives from the framework anyway. So that's why I'm not like sweating this too hard. But we'll keep going through it. I'm just saying, like, don't. I don't want to be a completionist for completionist's sake. Not around this. If we're gonna do it, it would be around something a little bit more valuable. But yeah, I don't know. I just most of this we just talked about in an indirect fashion with Claude. So like this now becomes more of a reference point. Feel what I'm saying? But that's a credit to the language. Like you can't say this in many other languages. Like this is so readable. Again, that's the big thing. This is so readable. You can read this and kind of know what's cracking now. After you learn a little bit of the rules, okay, you get it. So fucking sick, dude. This is hell yeah, brother. Man, this is beautiful. It just kind of writes like you would think. I don't want to look at that. Now, I guess what would be no, like really, there's it just functions. That's just actions, brother. And it has type inference, so it's like what about this do you want to make difficult? Wait, if you're wondering why we need the parentheses around it, it's because of the type annotations. Oh, I see. So if you want to explicitly type things, let add A and B are the arguments. Normally you could just do space A, B, and let the type inference handle. But if you want to explicitly say that the function add takes an A and a B, and you want to explicitly say that both are of type integer and that it should return integers, so that's your replacement for other languages for the fat arrow. Just another colon, and then return, and then your logic. Okay. Yeah, I mean, beautiful. What do I do? The parentheses around every. Yeah. This is awesome. It almost makes me want to just go write OCaml, but that fucking ecosystem is in such disarray. This is better. Um, like this. Okay, is this generics? Automatic generalization is generic. It'll automatically do that for you. So that little apostrophe is for any. That's like in TypeScript saying any. So apostrophe T for generic for any type. So that's just T being a placeholder for any type. Yeah. Let calculate group. Age is the argument. If age less than 18, then return the value child as a string. Otherwise, if age, or if that is not the case, then that's just how I read that in my mind. So that would just be a breakout. Like if that's true, it just breaks out, returns child. If age is less than 65, then breakout, return adult. Because it already passed this check, so that would mean that it is not less than 18. So you already know that you're okay. I'm either 19. I'm 19 or higher. Or wait, smaller than 18. No. Sorry. I'm either 18 or higher if you get past this check. And so then the next would be, am I as age? So speaking from the perspective of age, am I less than 65 now? If so, break out and just return adult. But if I'm still 18 or higher and not less than 65, then I'm a pensioner. I'm an old geezer. Oh, man, this is a beautiful fucking language, brother. This is, oh, man. Easy money, dude. Easy fucking money. I mean, well, you know what I'm saying. Um, fuck. The years I've wasted fucking around with fucking JavaScript and Object OO. Now this is cool. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it here. We'll keep going. I know I went on a tangent for the ages, but this makes sense. I mean, we talked about it. I talked about it. This makes sense to me. The scoping, where it returns. Oh, sick. Oh, that's badass. Wow. Man, they really, that's cool. I didn't know they did that for you. That's so sick. But yeah, so in a functional language like this or OCaml, Elixir, like your what would normally look like a variable declaration is actually a function, and we're not using squarely brackets because this uses indentation for scope. So this is effectively your function, the start of your squiggly, indentation is the body, and the last would be the close, so it's implied, and as is the return, so it's implicit returns. These are all just nested scope. If you wanted this to be called later and not immediate, then you could put the parentheses and then use a caller to initiate that function call. Otherwise, it just executes in very imperative top-down format. We looked at the type inference. So this is all using type inference. If you want to define explicitly the type, you just do colon and then the type. We did the string interpolation with the dollar sign ahead of the string. So dollar sign, double quotes, and then put your variables in squarely brackets. We saw that just like right here. That makes sense. Concatenation is handled, string concatenation with the plus sign, so nice and easy, just like if you were doing it in Excel or whatever, JavaScript. So that's very approachable. Space delimited, so not comma delimited for your function. So let foo is your function, arg1, arg2, arg3, space delimited. We're using type inference.
I see a lot of people get emotional about curly brace versus whitespace. Trust me, as someone who spent the first 15 years of their career working exclusively in curly brace languages, it's not a problem. The popularity of Python today, and historically Visual Basic as one of the first programming languages, should tell you that, like much of F#, it's not hard, but it may be different. Exercise 3.1.
So I just want to make sure that I'm okay. So this is not real. Like you can't write, because I know some languages like Scala will, well, they went the other way. It was always squarely brackets, but then I think the new version lets you do white space for scope if you want. I know some are optional, but I'm not sure if oh, I guess I can ask the AI. In, see how good it is. This is like built into the live book. In this shouldn't be too hard. In F# are squiggly brackets for scope option. Okay, so it's not an option at all. Okay, so it really is just functional. I just want to make sure he wasn't showing an alternative syntax, but it's straight up fictional. Okay, so this is the only valid. It's straight indentation. That's fine. Okay, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so it makes sense. Like we know F#, brother, sister. We get it. var declares variables, which can vary by being assigned different values later. Yeah, like sometimes they call it, like in Rust, they call it shadowing. Fucking fancy term. Just call it fucking. It's a var, brother. I don't know why they. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But var declares variables, which can vary by being assigned different values, whereas let is like const, but they don't use const. So let is const, like it's not going to change at all. And the var, if it's like Rust, var is limited to the scope, whereas let is like effectively globally defining a variable, at least within the namespace. Yeah. Hell yeah, brother.
Understanding the importance of scoping. You probably have heard the phrase, global variables are bad. Most rules like this are true, although greatly lessened by using immutable data, which is a first-class citizen in F#. Nonetheless, I would suggest reading the excellent Code Complete by Steve McConnell, which has some great research and illustrates in detail how and why the lifetimes of variables are directly related to the number of bugs found in codebases. That is, the larger the scope of something is, the more likely it will be involved in a bug. Nested functions. Because functions are just values, F# has no problem with you creating nested functions. That is, functions that are defined inside of other scopes, or even inside other functions. Let's see how we might rewrite the previous sample so that the creation of full name is done via a function.
See this code.
Make full name is only available within the definition of greeting text with function. This capability makes it quick and easy to create arbitrary functions as and when needed, although in this simple example, the nested function is only called once. Accessing outer scope values. Because you can create functions and scopes so easily, it's worth pointing out that while you can't access symbols that are declared within a scope afterward, you can do the opposite. If you declare a symbol before a nested scope starts, that scope will have access to it.
Listing 3.3.
And this is the part that, like, for me, when I think about programming coming from SQL, or maybe it's not even had nothing to do with SQL, but that just happened to be how it works there too. This just makes sense, right? Like if you define something ahead of time, then within the scope you should be able to access it. A lot of other programming languages will. You got to do a whole lot more. Define an interface or a type or an object or a getter. Like there's a whole bunch of ceremony, and you're really just trying to do this. Is what I've learned. And so again, like fucking awesome. F# is fucking sick, brother. I mean, and OCaml would work the same way. Elixir would work the same way. So I mean, Elm would work the same way. Functional languages are awesome. That's what I should say. That lets you do this because it's so pragmatic and it comes up so often. It doesn't solve everything, but most of what we're trying to do, a lot of times, is just this, especially at the application level. Is what I've learned, brother. Yeah, so I'm gonna go take a dump, take a piss or something, and then I'll be back for the Halo stream. But look, man, I appreciate y'all for coming out tonight or today. Drop a sub. We'll be back tomorrow.